please.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Starburned, Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Tina, Kara, Anna, and Delana. I almost said Tuxedo Mask.
This is not Vincent.
My good friend Tuxedo Mask, who went to high school together. We are dressed in the Ace of Roses theme to celebrate Ace of Roses, which just finished. It premiered over on our YouTube, and we do in fact have a YouTube at Starburned RPG where you can see Ace of Roses, the original Starfinder dating game show one-shot, which is unlike anything that you've ever seen, and you can go and see it now, and you will now know that I didn't win, and that's okay because I had the best ending. But you can go see what I'm talking about. It's all about boats. You can go see what I'm talking about over at Starburned RPG on YouTube. We also have an Instagram where you can see we have an Instagram, a Threads, a Blue Sky. There's a Reddit. There's a whole bunch of things. You can see the close-ups, like what is on our table right now. We have a what?
I said, do we have a Reddit?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We do have a Reddit. And we also have a Patreon where you can help support things like the things that you're seeing in front of you on our table. You can see it a little bit there, but you can see it in much greater detail if people take pictures. At Starburned RPG, we have so many different things that are coming up, but you can see many of them in the State of Starburned, which is a video over on YouTube. Just in the next couple of weeks, we are going to be playing Ace of Roses Season 2. We are also going to be returning to the post-apocalyptic Texas for Fallout Blackheart of Texas, which is our original story that is very much a modifious 2d20 system adventure. And it's a number of miscreants that have kind of crawled out of the Texas wasteland to do a job for the Ghoul Baron. We're going to be starting off, hopefully, arriving in Austin. And then I believe that is all the announcements that I have for this week. It is time for this week's session of Courts of Everest. And Kara with the recap.
Wandering Hearts. When last we played, most of us awoke from a very refreshing long rest after a well-deserved celebration, meal, and drinking extravaganza hosted by Core and Core's fantastic grill master skills. We ended the previous session with Ori taking a sip before blacking out. During his experience,
Brown out.
No, very explicitly, from a mechanical standpoint, a blackout.
Like a Banta blackout.
remember what happens when you interrupt me and that your life's goal has been out networking. Ori sort of comes to in a foggy haze of drug and alcohol-induced euphoria, finding himself just outside of the barn that has been cleared for the Archfey drinking group to imbibe stargrass. As Ori walks, every step seems to have plants coming from it, as though magically enchanted. Ori gains enough lucidity to realize that the barn he is now actually inside is locked. Nearby, the Archfey drinking group sleeps, and Ori goes about his business, as all drunk friends do with their drunk sleeping friends on the ground. He frames everybody else to make it seem like the Archfays were the ones who doodled on people. In actuality, Hersom has gone out to find Ori, as he is very easily able to locate him, thanks to Valis' wonderful powers of detection and a locate object spell on Ori's staff. Actually, the people on which Ori doodled were not people at all, but a farmer's cows, and the barn, and everything was quite defaced.
Definitely them the night before.
And Ori, still drunk, rejoins us all at the breakfast table. The group, along with Hirsom, discuss their plans for where they are exactly to go as they make their way towards the Dome of Alandar. They must go by way of the Divine Court, but because Hirsom takes us places through a spell that utilizes trees, the name of which I have forgotten just now.
Transport via plants.
Thank you. We must first stop through the Amberbark Woods, which is nearby the Divine Court, but not exactly there. Once we get to the Divine Court, however, we have been told to locate the Prince in Solitude, an ally erstwhile of Hirsom's, who might be willing to help us. We also learned some cool things about the Onyx Fire and what it looks like in the Feywild, and how maybe it's a monastery of mirrors where the warden is not as friendly as they used to be, and the Feywild Candy Mountains maybe are as terrifying as they seem.
More terrifying. Terrifying. Much worse.
We jollily make our way through the portal after acquiring some better armor and goods and visiting various places to get holy water. And Valis has a little aside at a former... Not... It is partially that, but also my brain stops. I was like, Valis went to the Temple of
Sorrowful
Rain.
Oh, Tearful Dove.
Tearful Dove! The Order of the Tearful
Order
Dove,
of Tearful
thank
Dove.
you. At the Temple of Sorrowful
The
Rain.
Temple of the Sailor Moon, I think.
It is
No,
difficult
the
to stay
Nailer
on
Moon.
track.
The Nailer Moon, right.
legally distinct.
Sometimes when I do these off the cuff, I feel like I deserve a little bit, like a D6 reroll or something. We make it to the Amberbark Woods, thanks to Hirsom, pulling out our very magical coach with creatures who pull it, very specifically creatures, which is very useful because our lovely druid companion is able to stop the coach as we are traveling to make the horses go faster.
Yeah.
When we do that, however, we are immediately assaulted by the shadows present in the woods. Shadowy hounds and their hound master ambush us from the waiting trees. But Cheshire says, fuck that, please go away. And they are banished back to the plane from whence they came, while everyone else attacks and destroys the hounds, including the imp kills a hound, and Billy doesn't. It's fine.
We ain't got time for that shit.
On our way back into the coach, somebody, I think it's Ori, sees a bird. The bird is sus as fuck. The bird is definitely a hag familiar, and you cannot tell me that it's just a bird that likes shiny things when it, you know,
so many
Just a regular ass
when
bird.
Valis and the bird decide to become friends and they have a chat, and the treacherous bird has followed us
It was
this
just a
entire
regular ass
way.
bird. It was butt.
As the treacherous bird accepts gold coins from Valis, who seems to have paid for some enchanted plate. So I guess now that Valis has a cursed piece of enchanted plate from this definite high familiar, we are on our way. I'm the one doing the recap. If you want to rewrite history, go for it. At the edge of the forest, we arrive with the Divine Court off in the distance. Its light blocked from us by a line of shadowy figures with one gigantic, hulking bulk of a shadow beyond. This is where we begin our session, as we rapidly approach
The eye.
that.
Indeed. Good work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So give me one moment. In this moment, you do see in front of you this line of shadows, maybe a dozen or more that are just sprawled out across, and you can see stepping out from the trees themselves, there are these four-legged beasts that you have fought previously, shadow mastiffs. And as Kara said, off in the distance, there is a much larger shadow, a giant shadow, in fact. And in this moment, it just disappears, vanishing out of your sight. And as you still travel towards this line, we can go ahead and roll for initiative.
Yeah.
I just
Like
like that
that
it just
we
disappears.
knew already that there was like a giant shadow.
I'm using different music.
Oh,
Sometimes I do that.
Bow, bow, bow.
Nice.
yeah, I keep grabbing 2 dice and rolling them. Like a fucking idiot.
You
You
really
guys are
didn't want
getting
that
a
sweet,
little
sweet
lucky.
I mean, I did spend a lot of time as Brenna, who did have advantage on
It's true.
initiative rolls.
Okay.
And before Rez always went on my turn, we'll grab 2 and like purple is me and green is Rez or whatever. So
I rolled like shit, so it's fine.
hey, I rolled better than I wanted to.
No, I'm sorry. You want to trade?
So,
That was a mechanic.
anybody natural 20 for initiative? Okay, 25 to 20.
23.
23 for Ori. Okay.
Rogues up front.
Anybody 20 to 15?
19.
17?
19 for Minka.
Ooh, you did roll high.
17 for
I don't like being
Cheshire.
selfish.
15 to 10?
12.
12 for Billy.
11.
11 for Alina and Rez. All right. And then 10 to 5?
6.
6. What is your dexterity?
Oh, love that question actually. 11.
11. Ooh, okay.
Oh, I
There
don't
we
like
go.
that response.
Well, it means that it's going after all of y'all, so
Yeah.
y'all can take
So-
care of it.
True.
The way that this works out, Ori will be starting us off, followed by Minka, followed by Cheshire, followed by the larger shadow, which again currently off the board, followed by Billy, followed by Alina and Rez, then all of the shadows, then the shadow mastiffs, then Valis, the very end of everything. We're going to go ahead and start off with you, Ori. Ori, you can hear these exclamations from your party members as the cart rushes forwards, and you can see that there are shadows in front of you.
Cool. How far, like, because last time it was like they were about 150 feet or so, right?
That's kind of where like the road clears up. So again, very much like
So, how far? What's the movement speed? The base movement speed of the cart?
what is the enchantment on them right now? It is
Long Strider.
Longstrider, which is plus 10 to their base movement speed.
Correct.
So they are moving 40 feet as a base movement speed, or sorry, 45 feet as a base movement speed right now.
Cool. So if I use my action to just mush them forward and use my bonus action, Eye for Detail, to scout a path
Mhm.
that will like continue us forward to avoid this ambush.
Mhm.
That's what I want to do.
Okay, so as an action, you are going to steer this cart.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So go ahead and move this cart 45 feet forward. You, from on front with Alina, you
I'm trying to
yah
go,
this
like-
horses.
Around through this path, knowing that those guys are there. And
So as an action, make an animal handling check. There is this rock directly in front of you, and you do need to veer around it. There are shadows on either side of this.
All right.
Nobody ever puts points in animal handling.
I
Ever.
did
Except for
a couple,
Valis, probably.
but that was
Not even
not
Valis.
good on the dice. That's a 5.
So as this rushes forwards, these two shadowy horses, you see they get spooked. There are dozens of creatures now crawling and rushing towards this space. So all at once, as you are traveling, you whip the reins, and the horses disappear.
Damn it.
And Ori, the front of this cart, just kind of, well, I'll say, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god.
You yawed the horses out of existence. Oh my god.
God, what the fuck is not a good
I don't remember how to get them back because I think
It's a
You
12.
heard 12. With the 12, you are fast. Your hands are quick, but not quite quick enough. And as you try to grab back on the reins and jump back to shift the balance foot backwards and keep the front ends that were previously lashed to these horses forwards, instead they dig down into the dirt. And the 45 feet of momentum just dragged into the earth. All of you, can you please make dexterity saving throws, please?
sure can.
And Alina, for you,
Why?
Spell?
it is not, but you can make yours at disadvantage as you are out on the front of this cart.
Cool.
Okay.
Uno.
Everyone gets +4.
Great.
5.
As today,
Right.
Valis is more handsome.
Hell yeah.
I think Valis gets
Would
more
I have
handsome
gotten
every
plus
day.
4 on all of those things?
All right, so what did you
Saving
roll,
throws.
Alina?
So
Sorry, you said Dex?
the
Yep.
dex saving throw that I
8.
just made?
8. That
Yeah.
is a
I
failure.
would've.
Billy?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, I picked the worst
That would've
time to
been-
call on you there.
It's okay.
That would've
So
been
6 plus 4 is 10,
16.
18.
18, that is a success for you, Ori.
Sorry, I make
No
another
problem.
one.
For you, Valis. Yep.
9.
9 for you.
31.
Nice.
Oh my god.
That's 19.
19. So Ori, Cheshire, Billy, the three of you easily able to withstand this as it digs in. You are able to grab onto handholds, dig your legs into crevices, and keep yourself from having your momentum slam you into the walls. Minka and Valis, the two of you have a little bit more trouble. You do take 6 points of bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone within this space, which means it will now take half your movement to stand and then 5 feet to exit the cart. The two of you also take 6 damage. Did I say that already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For you, Alina,
Uh-huh.
you are bucked off the cart and are shot 15 feet forward. You just slam down onto the ground. You take 6 points of damage and are knocked prone, and you are directly in front of the... you're 15 feet in front of the cart.
So
Right there.
like
yeah.
here.
And the horses are gone
Nice and
now.
prone. The horse is gone, the cart tilting forwards, and all of you hear the dirt just as you ground to a stop.
I like to
Um,
imagine that with Cheshire's high check, she's not so much holding on to things as just like zero grabbing her way through, just like
Like
somersaulting.
like
No
an
problem.
inception moment happens.
Did you
in
Yeah.
say
the bubble.
And then, like, Spider-Man's up.
Yeah, 6 points of damage. For you, Ori, you still have your movement. As the cart has ground to a stop, do you want to use it for anything?
Can I use half of my movement to climb things, or is that not a thing if I don't have climbing speed?
You need climbing speed to be able to
Okay.
move. It would be difficult terrain that would give you half movement to move
Okay.
through.
Could you use your cloak right now if you're trying to just get up on something?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
what's
require
the
an
what's the
action.
brightness level right
Here,
now?
the light is dim.
Ooh, okay. Then I'm gonna use my cloaky to get up on top of the cart here.
Okay. So almost unconsciously, as it digs in and you hold your feet like on the edges of this cart, just barely keeping your body on, you grab onto the cloak and you flap it. And in that moment, you feel it bind into your arms. You feel as if it almost becomes part of your skin and it fills with air. You feel these pockets just billow and you up and onto the top of this cart.
Please.
But that is your turn, Ori.
So do I get a bonus action still?
Bonus action. Oh yeah, you said bonus action I for detail?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Make your perception check.
Okay. That's a 22, I believe.
Okay. With a 22, that is a meets it, beats it. You can see behind this gigantic stone that these shadows are kind of clustered around, there is a pinpoint of light that is moving. It's moving fast. And you don't see that giant shadow anymore. It seems to, as a bonus action, be able to make a hide action and has done so. That is probably what spooked those horses. It is almost directly in front of you. Where Alina is, it is about 10 feet away from.
Alina, watch out!
What? Mud in my mouth.
Giant thing in front of you!
Okay.
That is your turn, Ori.
Wrong.
Minka, what would you like to do? Cheshire, you are on deck.
Okay, so first I would like to stand up and scramble out of the cart.
Okay.
So put me on either side, doesn't really matter.
So half your movement to stand,
About
5
yeah,
feet to
15
get out of
feet.
the cart. You climb over the
so
bodies
that's-
of Valis and Billy, who is kind of clutched
Yeah.
into the corner.
I see things have degraded.
Yes.
So I will then step a little bit away from the car so other people have room to get out.
Okay.
So we're all trapped in there. So 15, 5. Oh, just so I can move a little bit. I will then channel the archer with my bonus action to shoot at the closest hound.
Okay. And how much bright light do you shed?
So it is 10 feet bright, 10 feet dim.
Phenomenal. So all of a sudden, behind Minka, you can see the celestial points of light just align, and the dim light, or your bat wings, just become a cloak again. But in this moment, good, you're already up on the top of the cart. You have to like get your balance. Minka, this archery sort of almost bow and arrow constellation just lights behind you. And the tip of the first arrow aligns. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
18.
Who are you shooting at?
The closest hound.
Closest hound, that is a hit.
Okay. And then that would be, I believe it's 2. I just always have to double check because it will never be in my brain. I believe that is 17 damage.
17 points of radiant damage.
Correct.
17 points of radiant damage as it just explodes across this individual. You can see that does just enough to destroy the Shadow Mastiff. This mote of light strikes into its chest, and as it begins to bark off, and you can see like discorporate to begin to move, it just explodes into light, and it is gone.
Is it Arsenal?
Yeah.
Yep. And then I will target the next closest Shadow Mastiff and throw a cantrip at him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna guess it's the guy on the hill there.
Yep.
Alright. So I'm going to Starry Wisp this guy. And hopefully take out 2. Okay, it's a 26 to hit.
26 absolutely hits.
And then Hi-yaw. Okay. Oh, that's the shittiest shit damage.
Damn.
Almost minimum damage. 5.
5. Hey, it does twice as much as you would imagine, but still not enough to take out this dog. You can see the leg just evaporates off, and then shakily, like a tendril, just emerges, and it limps forwards a little bit more. Anything else, Minka?
I will kind of hide behind the shield I have and be like, guys?
Okay. Clang the shield into the rocky wall in front of you, and you try to steel yourself for the attacks to come. That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Cheshire.
So Cheshire's gonna like kind of spider stick her head out, get a sense of what's going on, and then she's going to cast slow in this area.
Very nice.
It
Okay.
is a 40-foot cube, and very specifically, I don't have to see a creature if it's in there.
1 second. I need
Here is your
D20.
cube.
Hooray!
So, that is going to be shadows 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Okay. Excellent.
I forget. Is this a thing that people can go in and out of, or that's just
Once
the...
it resolves, it only
yeah.
affects the creatures that were in it.
Okay. So, not bad all around. For these shadows that aren't... And what kind of save is this?
This is a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw? Okay. So, there are 2 that have unnatural 20s.
Those will succeed.
Then there is 1 with an 11.
That'll fail.
And the other 2 are lower than that. So 3 of them. You can see the cluster that is almost directly in the middle. They all just kind of freeze up. The tendrils beginning to move a little bit slower. And then there is 1 more with the 18.
20 is what you needed, and
There
that
you
is
go.
a failure.
So
I
all
see,
of
I
a
see.
sudden, from that point that you had
Damn.
spotted, this creature slowed. And Alina, as Ori shouts to watch out, directly in front of you. And you see all of a sudden this face looks down and the hands go up, and you see this huge shadowy sword slowly moving down towards you as they are slowed as well. So that whole central cluster of shadows slowed, including the shadow giant.
That is, you know, you're
Anything
in
else?
a tough spot, Alina. Don't really fuck this up, buddy.
Thank you.
You spit the clod of mud out of your mouth.
And then duck the head back into the cart.
Okay. Taking a little bit of shelter in the cart, Cheshire, that is your turn. That does bring us to the shadow giant. They are slowed, which means they can only take an action or a bonus action, correct?
Correct.
And their movement is halved.
Correct.
Luckily, they don't really need to move too far. They are going to take this shadow greatsword, and they are going to attack you. You are prone in front of them. This is a melee attack, so this is at advantage, and it is a crit if it hits.
That's so nice for him.
I'm
It
going
is.
to omen that.
Is that a 5e thing, or is that a monster
reduces
feature?
a by
Attacks.
It's a 5e thing.
I don't think it is.
Let me double check.
It
I'm just getting
makes
it
it so you can only
confused.
take one. but I can't do
Yeah.
anything about.
That one.
We
can
have
still be one
benefited
big
from it
one from
before,
a
so
shadow
if it-
giant.
I don't
Attacks
remember.
targeting somebody who is prone have advantage as long as the attacker is within 5 feet.
Yeah, but not auto crit, right?
Da-da-da-da. One second.
Advantage, yes, but not auto crit.
Yes, you are correct. Sorry, I'm looking at what's it called?
Restraint?
Starfinder.
Starfinder. Yeah.
It's my husband. He's
Okay.
looking out.
Very nice. So,
Happy about
not
it.
an auto crit. However, it is going to be, what is the minus?
5.
5. It is going to be a, God, math.
Math cam.
26 to hit.
Yeah,
I
that,
tried.
that
Okay.
hits.
Silvery barbs, reroll it.
Hey.
Okay. It's just one of the D die.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
take it then and whatever the lower number is.
Okay. Technically, God, minus 4. That is 24 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We tried.
I tried.
That was a good try. You get to give someone advantage?
I was gonna say, do I do it again?
Yeah.
Do we do it again?
Do you want to do it again?
Sure.
Okay,
Let's
you silvery
do it.
barbs
Reroll.
again. The 4th D20 for this attack. Okay, that is going to be a 20 to hit. Minus 4,
You get the advantage.
16.
Pizza, pizza.
That is
No!
unfortunate.
No, it was
Thank
minus.
you guys.
You get
Yeah,
the
that
advantage.
was
Fine.
minus.
Oh,
I
that was
get the
minus
what?
5.
You get the advantage.
Thank you.
The next
Thank
attack
you.
roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Okay,
Thank you.
so you are taking 12, 18, 19,
I give advantage to myself.
20. You are taking 32 points of slashing damage. And Alina, as this sword cuts you, it doesn't cut your flesh. It is like it cuts through the warmth of your body, and you do lose 2 points of strength.
Oh, my soul.
This
I need
reduction lasts until the end of your next short or long rest. You've experienced this before, and as your strength is sapped, you feel the warmth leave your body, and this is a very dangerous thing to have happen to you. You do know if your strength reaches 0 that you die. So that is the Shadow Fire Giant's entire turn with their slowed condition. That brings us to Billy, and then Alina and Rez are on deck.
Alrighty.
Fire time?
I did.
Was
Shadow
that
fire.
damage? I'm so
It was
sorry.
not, no.
Shadow fire.
Billy sees this
Shadow.
happening, but is like stuck in a cart with 2 people on either side. So, Billy, please. Billy kind of like takes a peek out the window and uses Misty Step to get
Very nice.
here.
Inside the cart.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got that. And we are going to take a few attacks.
All right.
Don't have flanking
You do
because
not.
prone.
I don't have no prone.
I don't have no prone. And we're just going to straight up hit the guy because I know you can hit the shadows. So we've got 2 attacks. Ooh, that is fantastic. So we have a 22 to hit
Okay. 22 is a hit,
and a natural 20.
and a natural 20 is also a hit. Absolutely.
We are going to spend Bardic Inspiration for a flourish on the natural 20.
Billy, this creature is moving slow, and as it is, you can see the other arm not holding this huge sword moves, and you see this flicker of shadow as if it has an ability that might help it here, but because it is slowed, it cannot use it.
As usual, MVP.
So we're going to go with the non-critical first.
Okay.
Ooh. So that's 6 points of lightning damage.
So lightning damage.
And 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Hang on, my pencil just broke.
For my phone.
Damn. It's crazy.
I'm like literally.
Yeah, literally just like,
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Oh no.
what to do.
Just
My
leave
bad,
it.
And then we're going to do the natural 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
Big numbies.
Max damage. Alright, so that's 8, 16. 16 points of magical piercing, 8 points of lightning, and another 12 points of magical piercing. So that's 28 points of magical piercing total, 8 points of slashes.
Okay.
But not, no, 8 points of lightning damage, and 6 of that gets added to my AC as it's a defensive flourish.
Very nice. So you like look out the window, you can see that Alina is just loomed over by this creature, and they slash down, and you can see the color drain from your friend, and you misty step without even thinking about it, and you tuck that momentum into a roll and end up right at this creature's feet and just slash across, and it does good damage, though it's not radiant, though it's not just kind of cutting into it in the same way that Minka's blows evaporated that mastiff off to your right. You are digging deep into the shadows, and it's not healing quite as quick as you are doing damage to it. Anything else, Billy?
That's all my actions and
All
my
right.
movement.
Very
How much damage
nice.
was that total?
It is a substantial amount of damage for this creature, and you imagine it is certainly taken notice of you, though slow to act at this moment.
Great.
Does it get a saving throw at the end of its turn?
It does.
It does, okay. Good thing just to keep in mind. All right. What kind of save is that? It doesn't matter. That's a fail. Okay. Yeah, but that's not. It's yeah.
Oh,
What?
Billy.
there's an additional 10 points that I forgot to add because of math.
Because of
Magical
math.
piercing.
How does it happen?
That would be fantastic.
So that is your turn, Billy. That brings us to Alina and Rez,
Thank
and
you
then
for
the
asking
shadows
how
go.
many points total that was.
Slow creatures can't take
The
reactions,
shadows
right?
go.
Okay.
They just go away.
Um,
And they
And the
only get
shadows
either an
go?
action
Yeah,
or a
totally.
bonus action, and no matter
Cool.
what, they can only take one attack.
hell yeah. Fuck you, guy. Alright, so, mechanically, I'm gonna fly up in the air and cast a spell, but for flavor.
Okay.
So, Alina looks up, she gets the shit knifed out of her soul, not her flesh, and she's like, ah! And, launches into the air, and as she does, a wall of light follows her.
Okay. Very nice.
So, very
Yes.
good. She's gonna kind of launch backward like that.
Nice.
Okay.
And then the wall, which is 60 feet long, is gonna go like zing.
Very nice.
And actually, sorry, no, here.
Okay.
So it's gonna hit the big guy and these 4 shadows.
Those.
Yeah.
Or maybe it might just be 3,
Yeah.
because it's 5 feet wide. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get
Very
one of
nice.
that?
I think that's the best.
I think 3 is
Yeah.
the biggest number. Okay, so
And you can't like on the battlefield just tactically like
Yeah,
move
yeah.
your wall around. So no
especially
problem.
with
That's
the flavor that I
Yeah.
insisted on.
You
Okay.
fire up, and as you do, it is like the entire earth just parts, and there is this beam of light. Minka, for you, you're used to being like the brightest source of light on the battlefield. All of a sudden, there is just this of light that is radiant. These shadows shy away from it. Go ahead and roll. And that is what kind? That's a saving throw, right?
It is. And so, notably, the wall emits bright light for 120 feet and then dim light for 120 feet.
Very nice.
Okay, it's a con save.
Gondor.
DC 18.
Gondor calls for it.
No, I started it here.
Okay.
So, it's only the ones who.
And wrong
start-
will
who,
add
like,
do they
are
have?
in the wall.
Do they? What kind of save is this?
Con?
Con.
DC 18?
First, for the Shadow Giant, that is going to be a 25. For the 3 shadows,
What kind of save again?
con save.
Okay.
One of them is a natural 20. The next highest one is a 14.
So, that's a fail.
Okay. So the Shadow Giant and the one immediately behind it, those 2 succeed, as they seem to benefit from the Fire Giant's mass. The other one's just eviscerated by this wall of light. Go ahead and roll damage for that.
Okay, so that is 19 points of damage for the failure,
Okay.
and the failure is blinded as well, and then half that amount, so 9.
What kind of damage?
That's
Radiant
radiant
damage.
damage.
So that's, you said that was 16?
18
it was
for
19 and
19 for the success, or excuse me, 19 for the failure, halved for the success, and the one that failed is also blinded.
19. The Shadow Giant succeeded, this is 9, but it is vulnerable, so it's back up to the original amount.
Hey.
There we
19
go.
and
All right.
38 are the
So
final
this wall of
points.
light explodes across the battlefield, and all 3 of those shadows, even the ones that succeeded, are just exploded off the back, as that is more than enough damage to just rip all 3 of them off this plane of existence and back from whence they came. This Shadow Giant kind of winces and turns, though the reaction not able to pull it out. You can see the shadow just being torn apart from its arm. Anything else, Alina?
Yep, then Therese, she's gonna be like, I'm sorry, buddy, I have to concentrate on this, so I can't bring out your big guns. So for now, just go distract that guy, the big guy, as best you can, okay?
All right.
Unless you want a different job, I'm open to
No, I got it.
suggestions, okay?
I'm just not thrilled about this. He's just so, he gets closer and it's just bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's just this giant.
I'm
You
sorry.
can hear
Is
the
Rez still
gulp
invisible?
Look, I
mentally.
wouldn't trust just anybody with this, Rez.
He flies into battle. But no
Yeah,
problem.
He's invisible.
He's invisible right now, yeah.
It is Rez's turn. Is Rez going to use the help action?
Yeah.
Okay. Using the help action for the next person who is going to attack. That is Rez's turn. That brings us to the shadows. So, these shadows. Second here.
Just casual music.
Pardon me.
No.
All right.
Sorry.
So, they are going to just run towards the cart. And Minka, even at full speed, this cannot get all the way to you.
Those rulers.
Ooh, I knew this was gonna happen.
As it's running, though.
That's the wall.
And then Ori, the wolves are coming for you. But everything has to dash here.
Silver barbs.
Oh, I love that.
I had advantage on that turn.
Unfortunate.
It's okay.
This
I rolled a
one
natural 20.
is slowed, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
think they
still
can
can get
climb?
into Billy.
Wolves can't climb. They don't have.
Whoa.
You think shadow wolves can climb?
We are made a shadow. We don't really know if the regular rules of wolves apply.
We'll have
Maybe
to
they
dash.
just
Damn.
phase into the trees.
This one will be able to attack Minka. This
Yeah.
one. Can you get the
Oh,
other
but he
Shadow
fell
Mastiff?
over.
I'll put that under
Damn.
behind Minka. That one has to dash to get
Right here?
there. Yep.
Yeah, just like pack tactics.
This one will get to make one an attack. Can you pass me those other shadows? Take those other two as well.
This is usually when I start.
They have to run,
Yeah.
and they are going to scrum in on you, Billy. Oops, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, we scrumming.
And this one actually can
Probably y'all
get
cut
all the
that
way
out.
around.
Says Alina.
Okay, so Billy, let me count here. Billy, you are taking attacks from 2 shadows, 3 shadows,
I'm so thankful for my defensive flourish right now.
and then Minka, you are only taking an attack from 1 shadow and a shadow mastiff.
I'll take it.
All right, so
have
not really able to close too much yet.
Before you roll,
Yes.
as a point of order, I would like to confirm.
Yes.
Because I used my defensive flourish on my
Correct.
natural 20, on the die I had 6 points. Does that translate to the value of the natural 20 die, or the value on the die itself?
So you get 6 points to your AC. You don't double the AC amount. But
Wanted to clarify.
no, I like it. I like it. So
That'd be nice.
That would have been.
Billy,
Yes.
first,
Yeah.
you are going to be taking some attacks.
Oh, sure.
From the very first one, you are going to be taking just a strength drain attack. That is a natural 1. And so as it just leaps out for you, the wall of light next to it, and it seems to shy away.
Yeah, me
The
too,
second
man.
one is going to take an attack against you. That is only going to be a 9 to hit. And so you are going so fast, and you are using like far too many sword movements to kind of counter each of their attacks. It is like 13 movements to their 1. They are not quite able to really land anything. The final one is going to be a 6 to hit.
Nice.
So your defensive flourish, not really necessary, as they close in. Out of breath are these shadows as they run across the distance. For you though, Minka, perhaps they will have a little bit more success, though I doubt it. With the bright light immediately in their face, it is a little bit more difficult for them to strike. Although they roll much better, it seems. Minka, does a 17 hit?
It does not.
Okay, that first one rushes towards you, unable to strike. The second one, the Mastiff snaps its jaws and only rolls a 10. And with this bright light emanating from you, they seem hesitant to get in close. But the rest of them leap over the hills. They rush in around. You can hear hounds baying at the cart. They are closing fast. But that is all that the shadows can do on this turn. That does bring us to the Shadow Mastiffs. We already did the Shadow Mastiffs. because they were 8 and then 7. That brings us to Valis. And as a point of order, before your turn, Valis, you have put such effort into your costume. You have a fantastic mask. You hold a rose, a true rose that you went through some trouble to find, I heard. And so I do present you the Ace of Roses reroll. And I'll go ahead and just pull that up. You can see real heartthrob here.
Oh my
Pass that
God.
over to you. You can use that at some point this week.
Foiled again!
Valis, the wall of light erupts off into your left from your position, kind of crumpled over in this cart. What are you doing?
All right. So I'm going to get out of the cart. Well, stand up, get out of the cart.
Okay.
Okay. Am I within base contact of Minka?
When you get out of the cart, yes, you will be.
So I get out of the cart. I look around. Ooh, that's a lot. All right.
It's a bit spicy here.
I'll
First,
just take the dodge action.
can someone? All right. This is what I want to do. I want to take the attack action.
Okay.
I want to attack Minka,
Okay.
and I want it to be a shove. And I'm trying to pull her, just like 5 feet this way. Can she choose to, like,
Like knee pull.
fail the will save?
Yeah.
Fail the.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay. All right. So first I'm gonna do that. Oh, Minka, come here, and I'm gonna pull you just
Okay.
5 feet.
You see Valis, top hat, tuxedo mask,
Where did this come from?
just over all the plate mail.
And then I'm gonna move over here. And then there are now 6 shadows in a line,
Yes, there are.
and no Minkas.
Yeah,
So I am going to bonus action Sunbeam.
phenomenal.
So you only just
6 shadows and no Minkas.
So that is
Uh,
specifically, I believe, 1 Mastiff, which is a slightly different save, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular shadows. Okay.
and they all need to make DC 16 Constitution saving throws.
Okay, so first, the single Mastiff is cocked. Is only going to be an 11, so that is a failure. For all of these shadows. Oh my god.
Those are pretty average numbers.
Okay, so one
they
of these
are.
shadows got a 16, which is a meets it beats it.
Yep.
The rest of them, the highest one, this is a con save,
Yep.
is a 5.
Wow. Unfortunate.
I
All right.
rolled a 1, 2 3s, and a 4 for them there. That was really
Any
unfortunate.
chance that these are undead or oozes? They would
Any
have
chance that these
disadvantage.
are undead or oozes? They are undead.
Oh, really?
Oh.
They get disadvantage on the saving throws. So,
They actually rolled better on the
oh
disadvantage.
my
so.
god.
Not that it matters, because
Undead or
they still, only one of them succeeded.
Okay, so the one that, all the ones that fail take 22 radiant damage,
Okay.
and then the one that did make it takes 11 radiant damage.
And because this radiant damage is so much more effective than you thought, that whole line just evaporates. Though there were people who
Why?
succeeded, it didn't even matter. These shadows just away, and there's just motes of darkness that just drift off and into the air. Phenomenal. Very good job, Valis. And you hold this beam of light steady. You now create
just-
with Minka this kind of like mote of light that then extends out in one direction, and then with Alina's wall kind of out in another, you have formed this almost half star that exists within this space. It is bright here. Anything else, Valis?
Yep, I still have another attack and a guy next to me, so I guess I'll just
you do.
attack him.
There you go.
You are next.
I don't think he is. Let's see. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 does not hit,
Oh, he
believe it
does
or
not
not.
hit.
You swing, and you are just so fascinated by this amazing attack you just made that you can't
Makes
quite
sense.
land the next one on this creature. Anything else, Valis?
Let's see. That was everything.
All right, that brings us to the top of the round and to Ori. With the wall of light, Ori, and your passive perception, you notice that about 100 to 200 feet off from where the light kind of fades away, there is now just enough light into the air to make note of the fact that flying up above, maybe like 100 feet off the edge of where this encounter map ends, there is an individual just floating through the sky. They are clad in all white, and you get the sense that they are either a human, an elf, or some other very humanoid-looking kind of individual, but they are drifting steadily closer.
Does that match the description of the Lonely Prince?
Prince of Sorrows.
Prince of Sorrows.
In solitude, right?
Prince in Solitude.
Does it match the guy
I very
himself?
quickly want to clarify something about the titles here. The Prince in Solitude, not this guy. Prince in Solitude is a person who exists within the Republic of Volcan and Berer. They're a totally different person. The person that you're going towards is the Fallen Star.
Oh my
Different
god, it's
person.
not the same person?
It's not the same person.
Damn it!
You guys really, you threw me off really bad last
He's
week.
Winter Court guy.
He is a Winter Court guy,
Yeah.
yes.
I know.
The
I
Fallen
thought the
Star.
title was. I thought he
I
had
was
many
right there
titles.
with you.
Yeah, he does have many titles, but that's not one of them.
Would Ori, in seeing this guy, would Ori be able to recognize that? Or at least that it was like...
Yeah, this is an individual clad in all white. You can see that on their being, there are plates similar to the ones in which Valis had been gifted from that crow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, well, seeing that, I'm gonna... bonus action steady aim
Okay.
and shoot at the giant one.
Yeah.
That's still threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna be like, "A fallen star, coming from there."
Should we dodge?
Like meteor.
This is how the campaign ends. All right, time to roll damage.
We fucked with Albron for just slightly too long.
That's Tarrasque poison.
We are the dinosaurs of
I
the
don't
Alberon
need to steady
Not to
aim
meet our
for
meteor.
advantage on this guy, right?
Which guy?
The giant.
It's on there.
You're being helped
Well,
right
very
now.
specifically from Rez, you
Oh,
are
yeah,
being
Rez is-
helped.
Right.
So you have
Okay.
advantage.
So I have advantage anyway, so I don't need to steady aim, so then I still have a bonus action after this.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, reroll one. That's a...
You're right, you know?
I think it's gonna hit.
Always.
That's a 30.
That is going to hit.
That's a sneak attack. So
I like that you get the sneak attack that you just shouted out. Fallen Star!
yeah,
Stealth!
sneak attack. The name sneak
No, I know,
attack
I know.
implies something that it really isn't.
I know.
You know?
We've had rogues in every campaign.
Exactly. You know. You
Yeah,
gotta,
because
it's
sneak
not a
attack's
sneak
awesome.
attack.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right. Let me just make sure I'm getting all the damage right here. Boop, 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 boop. And I know that they are resistant to fire, so I'm not going to expend one of those dice. And I also know that they can't be disarmed because they're shadows. So I'm not going to use anything. I'm just going to make a regular ass attack.
In Delicious in Dungeon, when the guy is like thinking about what he knows from the book of like cooking monsters, that's what just happened with Ori.
100%.
Ori definitely the type of person to yell his attacks before he does them.
That's Dan's character on Thursday nights.
Please, he's trying to
Where's the webcam?
26
Oh,
magical
oh,
piercing.
6 magical piercing, and for the record, does the full amount that you would want it to do. Anything else, Ori?
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action. It's bright light now, so I guess I can't use it. I
Sorry.
guess bonus action.
There's like 3 sources of light on the
What you
battlefield.
doing?
Bonus action. Hide.
Make a stealth check.
At like triple
You feel
disadvantage.
no, there's no disadvantage, but you feel like the DC is quite high because
But I do have advantage because of my cape.
so Minka is a
that's
glowing
true.
light
Yeah.
right next to you. You're not in dim light. You have
Dim
Valis
light
who is
to be able
holding
to
the
use
sun
it.
as
I
a
always
beam.
have advantage
Yeah.
on
That's
sneak
correct,
style.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's doing that thing
But
where
that
we're-
makes sense because
Like
it's
in Lord of the Rings,
a
where it becomes a
boop,
rock.
boop, 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 boop.
It just becomes the top of
Yeah,
it.
just like transforms.
15.
Or you just do a 360-degree turn as you look for somewhere to hide. And there's just nothing up here, so you just crouch down real low.
Oh, shit.
But no problem. That is your turn, Ori.
That's it for me.
Alrighty, that brings us to Minka. Cheshire, you're on deck.
Awesome. I appear to be face to face with a shadow.
You are face to face with a shadow.
It's got real big hands.
He does have real big hands.
Are you sure it's not your shadow?
Uncomfortably large hands.
They're getting hands in.
So,
There it is.
I'm going to action Shocking Grasp and
Okay.
attempt to be like, please no touchy. By be like, no, thank you.
Politely.
Uh-huh.
As discussed, this was the plan.
Ah, that's
No
1
means
point
no.
off of a critical. 28 to hit.
That absolutely hits. Yeah, you go out and you just grab the shadows.
As one does, you know.
Wait, you're the handsy one.
Preemptive strike.
For you. Go for the shadow.
Okay, so that is a total of 19 points of lightning damage.
Wow.
19 points of lightning damage. You reach out and you electrocute the shit out of this guy. And so hard is the electricity that these shadows just ripple out and become this cloud and just dissipate. They are gone.
Oh. So my next move was I was going to, like, move, but since he's just gone, I'm just going to aim instead.
Okay.
And I see that there's a lot going on next to Billy.
Hi.
So Val's is shooting the sun out of his hands, so he's probably fine. So I'm going to target the big shadow that is in between Billy and I
Okay.
with a strike from the bow. A 23?
23 against the big shadow is a hit.
Okay. All right. Dope.
In between Billy and Minka, you said. So
Yes.
this one, right?
Yeah, which is a big shadow.
Oh, okay, good. That's a
Oh,
hit, yeah.
no, not the
Not the big shadow.
not the big
There's
guy.
a giant
That's the
shadow,
giant
not a big
shadow.
shadow.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a big shadow and a giant shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other shadow that's next to Billy is quite small.
Yeah.
So really shitty damage. 9 in
So
total.
tombstone.
How much?
9
9 points of damage. And what kind of damage is that?
radiant.
That's still pretty good. I mean, that digs into this individual, and the radiant light seems to dig into the shadowy mass and then explode into this like billowing light that rips parts of the shadow away. It hurts this creature, but they are still up. Anything else, Minka?
I'm going to. Is this like enough of a incline to have to like athletics up, or
From that side, certainly. From the side that is facing the shadow giant, you could probably just make your way up.
okay?
Yeah, it looks like hill, just
There's a
like
little path,
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have enough movement to do that. So I'm just gonna scoot forward up the less dangerous terrain because I've seen what happens when people try to go up 10-foot cliffs.
What are you,
You
talking
turn
about?
as you're running. You look up at the very visible Ori on the top of the cart, and you're like, "Man, I can't do it." He does. You take the path.
I'm guessing I'm okay just to walk through the sunbeam, or do I have to like duck underneath it? Or do I have
It's-
to...
No, you're
The
fine. to go
sunbeam
through.
doesn't stay in place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a pew pew,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
In my brain, it's
Understand.
always been like just like a consistent theme. I'm just like a lot of it as
Make
a
a lightsaber,
Yeah. So I just want to park up there. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna park up there.
You
Yep,
do
behind
on
now.
this hillside. You see the shadows just swarming around your allies. But that is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Cheshire, and then the shadow giant goes.
But what is that? Do I attack it?
Cheshire attack something?
Yeah, always one of our allies.
I won't. Because it'll hit Billy and Rose too. I won't do that.
Fireball.
I feel like those are like similar bark faces
Yeah,
just
right.
now.
Well, fuck this up, buddy.
Okay. You give inspiration to that. Anything else?
Like that.
All right. You focus on slow. It is really helping you out in this moment. And that does bring us to the Shadow Giant's turn. So it is currently kind of looming. Alina has just jetted out of sight. So it is going to turn to the one person that it doesn't need to move to attack.
And who kicked his ass a little bit on the last turn.
Just
And-
as
the
a
real
reminder,
reason.
he is currently inside the wall of light.
Yes. He is going to make an attack against you, Billy.
Bring it on.
What is being
He
inside the
is
wall?
slowed.
If
I
he
still
ends
have
his
my
turn
plus
there, he
6.
takes damage.
Ah.
Okay, Billy, even at disadvantage, is he getting a negative from slow for attack rolls?
No,
Just a dis.
just you can
Okay.
only make one.
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
It doesn't hit because
There
I've
you
got
go.
plus 6.
With the defensive flourish, you
Flurry.
just are able to step to the side. This huge shadowy sword
Exactly what it looks like.
scythes through the grass, and the grass just dies all around the blade. It doesn't cleave into the ground, but the plant life is just eviscerated here. That is all that it can do. It is going to move out of the wall of light. It is going to go off, staying within your range, Billy. It's half movement, right?
Correct.
Okay. It is just going to move to the other side of you, Billy. Just stepping over you and then just landing over
Puts it
here.
into
Yeah.
the sunbeam, doesn't it?
No, the sunbeam
The
is not
sunbeam is a
persistent.
pew pew.
That is this creature's turn. That brings us to Billy. Then Alina and Rez are on deck.
Right?
Alright.
Did Rez get an attack of opportunity?
No, Rez does get an attack of opportunity, and the creature does get to make its save at the end. That's still not going to make it.
Hell yeah.
Little Rez with a natural 20.
Very nice. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Is Rez gonna fucking kill this thing?
Rez is on a roll.
I don't think
So
mathematically it's
If
possible.
Rez kills this thing in front of Billy,
I don't think he
7
can.
piercing damage, and it is magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances.
Okay.
And that's going to be a DC 18 Constitution saving throw.
That is a failure.
Damn.
So this is going to be 3d6.
I feel like I
poison.
roll bad against Rez.
Yeah. So with the extra damage, that's not influenced by the crit too, is it?
Yes, it is.
Hell
It's
yeah.
part of the crit.
any dice you roll.
Dice rolled.
Tiny d6.
Oh, tiny d6. Tiny d6. Ooh,
All the
that's
dice.
not awesome numbers. 8 poison damage.
8 points of poison damage, which does nothing.
Yeah.
As you imagine, poison doesn't seem super
Oh, that
effective
hurts.
against
Yeah.
something without
No.
blood.
That's okay.
But no problem.
I got him!
Right through the entirety of this shadow creature, you just roars with this victorious attack. The creature kind of swoons a little bit, or maybe it's just walking. It's hard to tell. But anything else, Alina and Rez?
That was just Rez's reaction.
Okay. Oh yeah, Rez's reaction, right? That is the Shadow Giant's turn. That brings us to Billy.
Slash slash.
All right, make your attack rolls.
Or
This
I guess
creature
pierce,
misses.
pierce.
And as it misses, the sword, like down, goes right past your body. It brings the head, the shoulders of this creature really close to you.
Hexblade's curse first.
Okay, excellent.
Just gotta remember to do the thing. Damn. Damn. Well there. I can't silvery barbs myself.
You can't, no. What are those attack rolls?
So one of them is a 16.
That is a miss.
The other is a natural 1.
That is a big miss. And you swing in the space. Nothing too bad happens. Anything else, Billy?
Well, that's all of my actions.
There you go.
Did you take the account to -2 AC?
Yeah, with the -2 AC.
It's a natural 1.
There you go. So, Billy, for you, is there anything else that you want to do? This creature still facing you slowly. It begins to drag up its blade.
Can't take a reaction because he's slowed.
That's correct.
We're just gonna... 9, 2...
The other one is not slowed.
That's okay.
Okay.
I can take a hit much better from a weenie than I can from a giant.
Phrasing. So this creature reaches out with
That's
its
what I said.
strength phase.
It's not
That is
that.
a 14 to hit.
14 does not hit.
And you are able to just skirt away unhurt from this creature. Where are you ending up?
Right there. Like on the other side of Rez.
Okay, you
Like
are
at the
leaving
edge of the
other
wall,
one
like-
as well, I believe. So that's
Yeah,
they get a
there's
strength
two.
drain as well. That is even lower. So Billy, no problem. You fly through this battlefield untouched. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, that is Alina
I
and
hope
Rez.
no one saw that. I looked real cool before
Um,
when everyone was in the car.
But now
Alright.
the place is lit up.
Alina is going to use her action to launch a beam of radiance from the wall of light at
Okay.
Biggin.
Go for it.
So that's a ranged spell attack. That's going to be 22 to hit.
That is a hit.
Nice.
Yum. And that's 4d8. Radiant. Roll it in here. Roll real quick. 15 points of radiant damage, and the wall gets a little shorter.
That's twice the amount that you normally deal. And as that beam passes through this creature, Rez has just passed through this creature. It almost falls apart. You can see like the belly just barely holds together before it kind of fills back in. But this creature is looking really rough.
Nice. And then to Rez, she's gonna be like, "That was a really good hit. You want to go hit him again?"
Yeah.
Okay, do it. And so Rez is gonna, whoops, come over here.
Oh no, I broke the slow spell.
Oh my
I broke it again.
Hanging on the sword.
There we go. And that's going to be a roll that I am doing right now. That's gonna be a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 just barely hits.
And
Look at Rez
max
go.
damage for 7 points of piercing damage.
Very nice.
And we won't bother with the poison.
That's
yeah.
fair. So he strikes in, and Rez right through. This creature still up, but again, kind of stumbles a little bit. That is your turn with Rez. That does bring us to the rest of the shadows. Okay, so not a ton left, but enough to at least make this interesting. Billy.
Miss my defensive flourish.
Remember the good old days when you had defensive flourish?
Damn.
They will move away from Rez, so Rez will get an attack of opportunity if he wishes.
Oh, because it's reset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's an 8. Just casually
Hi.
stabbing me.
Oh, Billy, you just did a lot of damage.
I know.
And then
I did no damage last turn.
No, but still, from where the wall is, this is all seeming like it's coming from you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
So,
it is. That's all
Billy.
Billy. I did that.
Billy, these shadows rush you. Phallus, we'll start with you, though, because there's only one that is attacking you.
Pay no attention to the satyr up in the sky.
This Shadow Mastiff is going to take a attack against you. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Miss.
Oh, it snaps, but you told the shield up and slam the shadow away. Billy,
Yeah,
first we're going to start with the 2 Shadow Mastiffs.
sure.
The first one is going to take an attack against you.
Why not?
That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Nice. Billy, that is going to be 8, 9, 10 points of necrotic damage.
Cool.
And your strength score is reduced by 4. Billy, can you also make a strength saving throw, please?
Oh, thank goodness. It's a poorly written 16.
That is a success. It cannot drag you down to the ground. The second is only going to be a 14 to hit.
That does not hit.
And so both of the Shadow Mastiffs not able to hit. You are not prone, so they're still going to be rolling a disadvantage against you. These 3 shadows are going to attack. The first one, from behind Billy, is only going to be a 13 to hit.
Nope.
The second one, next to you, much better, is going to be a 21 to hit.
Nope. Wait, yes.
21.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, damn.
On the last die, I want
What is that breastplate made out of?
Wishful thinking.
All right.
Wishful thinking.
That is 9 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
And Billy,
Yeah.
your strength score is reduced by 2.
Oh.
I'm gonna use my reaction on the last guy.
Okay.
So
This last one makes its attack at disadvantage.
I'm gonna minus the 1 by 4.
That is a 2 to hit.
I'm helping.
As it goes to strike, there is a flash of light from Minka, and you're not sure what happens, but this creature wobbles. It strikes, and this goes right past your face. You could feel the chill of the air as it threatens to suck more of the strength from your body, and you're barely holding up. But that is all of the shadows, and that brings us to... Off in the distance, you see this individual suddenly light up. Now, just 50 feet off the battle map, you can see, floating about 80 feet off the ground, this individual, as behind them, you can see this radiant chalice appear. Very similar to the one that Minka has lit behind her. You see points of individual starlight that kind of form this constellation, and you see this billow of light as they take the chalice form. But they are still really far away, and for what it's worth, this individual, you can see them a little bit closer now. They are about 6'4". They're an elf with slightly silvery cool skin, hair like liquid silver. They wear white robes, simple diamond-shaped silver plates, similar to the one that Valis has. And there is celestial runes that glow, and from this distance you can see off several of them by an inch away from radiating the starlight. There are these images of a chalice that float like about an inch off their body from some of these plates. This is not the person that you have been saying. They are not the fallen star. You would imagine this is an Arcadian Voidwander. This is the Radiant Beacon. But they are still 50 feet off as they are not there taking their time on the way. That was what the D4 was for. And if you guys had not pushed on to try to get there before dark, they would not have shown up at all. But that is
Perseverance.
their turn. That brings us to the end of our order, Valis.
Let's see. So, could I hit, if I'm like standing here, handy rose. If I'm standing like here, and I sunbeam this way, could I hit this guy and these three?
Um,
I'm standing here.
from there.
Here, let me just.
With that handy implement, you're hitting 3 Shadow Mastiffs and 1 regular Shadow. And that doesn't hit allies, correct?
Oh, it does.
Oh, well, then you're hitting Billy too.
Oh, I think it. Well, oh my god. Like, I don't think it could hit someone in this spot and this spot, since they're kind of like.
I think if it's going through the 2, then it's going through all those spots.
Whoops.
Probably.
Oh my god, please stop.
You know what? I'll give it to you. I think that makes sense.
I think, yeah, like with
that makes
this,
sense. Because you could just put it farther off to the left, and that makes sense to me.
like skip it over a little bit.
So absolutely, go ahead and roll damage on that.
It's that 2-degree change.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Correction.
that's a good one. So DC 16 Constitution saving throw.
Geometry.
Okay, I'm gonna hear the damage before I bother.
20, 32. Wait, yeah, 32.
32.
So
Even
16
if if they succeed, the shadows, the bigger ones, have 16 points of health, and so that is just enough to destroy that entire line. You fire this second beam of light out, and Billy, all around you, it just lightens up. You see a light in the distance. You see this huge beam of light just move the shadows away. Things are feeling a little bit more hopeful. But that is your turn, or anything else, Valis?
Let's see.
That is just your bonus action. Bonus action.
Let's see. When I cast Moonbeam, does it do the damage right away?
It does.
Okay. All right. And then for my action, I am just gonna Moonbeam the super big giant.
Phenomenal. So in one hand, you fire out a radiant bolt from the sun, and with the other, you point with your... Are you holding your sword or your shield?
Guess I'm holding both?
Okay, no problem. You point the sword forwards, and where there is the kind of overhead, sort of almost green gem-like surface that seems to curve out of the view forever, there is a shimmer and then a bit of opening, and suddenly you can see this beam of moonlight that you see no moon or stars just fire down from the sky and form a circle around this creature. You're forming it around Billy?
No, not Billy.
Be revealed.
The really big
The big guy?
the giant.
Okay,
The
no
giant.
problem. What kind of save is that?
A Constitution saving throw 16.
That is going to be a 28.
It does
All
reveal
right.
shapeshifters.
It does.
Is it a shapeshifter?
It is not.
Oh man.
It is revealed to be a shadow,
All right, it takes 5 radiant.
which is 10 points of radiant damage. This creature still up, but barely. As the moonlight strikes it, you can see it roars its head back. It makes no sound in the shadow, but you can see it is a almost vestigial scream as it is just almost dead. You can barely see where the feet meet the ground now. It is almost just evaporating into the air, but it is still up. Anything else, Valis?
That'll be it.
That brings us to the top of the round and to Ori. Or you can see this shadow, slowed as it is, flickering, barely holding on. You can see that there is still a number of shadows gathered around. Billy, what are you doing?
Is the Rez still doing the help action?
No, Rez
No,
took an
he
attack.
attacked on his turn.
So I don't have advantage.
But in that way, he is helping.
Okay. Then I'm going
You're
to
not getting it from him.
steady aim and shoot. And that's going to be 28 to hit.
28 is a hit.
That's 22 magical piercing.
Ori, as you fire this arrow, you can see this creature barely hanging on after the moonlight just subsumes it, and this bolt, the last bit of damage that is needed to sever the final bit that is tethering it to this plane, the shadow. Just away. Minka, you feel this chill as it just washes over you before just disappearing from whence it came. And I just yeet that down on the ground.
Shit over there.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
I usually clean some. I have just madness over here.
Made it all its way to the other
Yeah,
side.
exactly. Anything else, Ori?
That's it for me.
All right, you devastate this creature. That is your turn. That brings us to the top of the. Or sorry, that is your turn at the top of the round. That brings us to Minka. Cheshire, you're on deck.
Okay. Question.
Yeah.
Would Minka remember if a spell like Greater Restoration would fix the strength issue?
You haven't used Greater Restoration on it, I don't believe.
I don't think we've
so.
tried.
You don't know.
Okay.
Have we used lesser?
I don't believe so either.
Yeah, I don't think we've
I don't
tried
remember
either. We
how we
haven't
fixed it
had.
last time.
Last time we just slept.
Oh, okay.
So
Sleeping fixes a lot of things.
There's
Yeah.
also a sentinel.
yes. So I believe
We're
I
also
can make it to
dealing
Billy, but
with
let's
the guy
double
who's
check.
about to- Got big chalice. Big chalice.
We
for
got a big
coming.
chalice.
I think I can
Big chalice
just
energy.
make it to Billy.
Okay.
I don't think Billy
Yeah.
can technically stand because with a strength score of 4, I don't think the breastplate.
No. So you are no longer Well, what I'll say is for this combat, you're not proficient with the breastplate or treated as being proficient with it any longer, as you are now not meeting the requirements to wear it. But you're still upright. It's just hard.
Okay, cool.
So I will actually. I'm going to. From here,
Mhm.
shoot an arrow at that guy first, my bonus action,
Okay.
and then run up to Billy, hoping to kill that shadow to clear some space. to
Make
get
your
to him.
attack roll.
He's a roll a natural one.
No, you said you were doing it.
You shades of Minka the Malicious playing in the back of your mind.
Oh, it's a 19. Okay. We're fine.
That is a hit.
You
Go ahead
see
and roll
someone
damage
that's
on that.
Alana. Alana rolls real well.
It's all about rising to the challenge.
10.
10 points of damage, and it is twice as effective as you would imagine it to be, and that shadow just evaporated away.
Very nice. And then Minka will go take its place and use her action to end the fucking diamond powder she's been fucking holding on to just in case. Cast Greater Restoration upon Billy and see if that helps. It includes lifting a curse. I don't know if that would help.
Heal me.
Oh, any reduction to one target's ability scores.
Oh.
There we go. I found
And
it.
so
That's
Billy,
pretty.
as you like
Good.
begin to tilt forward, falling down from the weight of this breastplate, suddenly the shadow evaporates next to you, and Minka's hand just reaches through its space. There is glowing light, and suddenly you feel strength just rush back into your body.
See why Ori's making a new religion.
Anything else, Minka?
That was my bonus action, and movement. So I am just going to. I think. Yeah, no, I can't move any further.
Okay.
I use all my movement to get to her, so.
That is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire. Billy, you're on deck.
Ori, what's the word to summon the horses?
I think they're gone now.
Obviously, that's why she wants to summon them.
I don't think they're gonna come. Yeah.
Yeah!
You shout this out, and nothing happens.
Are you holding the thing?
No.
That's why. Anything else, Cheshire?
Let's move it, people!
All right, bonus action, yeah. Free action, let's move it, people. That brings us to Billy.
I'm gonna kill one thing!
You feel the strength flood back into your body, and Billy, with this strength, you will kill one thing.
I will kill one thing. That's a 15 and a 29 to hit.
A 15, that hits, and a 29 certainly hits.
I'm gonna kill it!
Billy's working on some stuff.
The tiniest dice.
Alright.
So they get smaller every time I look.
I know, right?
How are you, physically manipulating those?
Better than some people with crowded dice trays. So 4, 10, 20 points of magical piercing, 5 points of lightning damage, and an additional 2 to my AC as it's a defensive flourish.
Billy,
Yes,
tell us how it happens.
Hey.
it's not cool. It's just Billy screeching, I'm gonna kill something. And then just evaporates.
No problem. The strength floods back into you, and with that strength, you look at Minka dead in the eyes. Minka, this is a moment where you have cured Billy. Billy looks at you, and you're waiting for this thanks, and Billy's eyes bulge, and Billy yells, "I'm gonna kill something!" Turns and just rushes and thrusts through this creature, and there is an explosion of magical energy that just evaporates this shadow. And as it disappears from this encounter map, you are all out of initiative.
Billy turns around and is like, thank you.
You do see just off and now floating towards you this individual who is glowing with light. Give me 1 second here.
Alina's gonna keep the wall of light up until there's lots of glowiness around.
Okay.
Like Minka plus this other person. Lots of light around here, people.
No problem.
If Ori is not presently moving to go take the thing to summon the horses, that is where Cheshire is moving.
Okay.
Well, we have this guy who's glowing.
Cheshire's in a cart. But
Cheshire's
she's
in a
a
cart.
Yeah, she has none of this information.
They float down. They go over this wall of light, and you can see they cross that wall, and unbroken, they make their way directly to Minka. Minka, this person floats down, and they get to within 5 feet of you. This glowing light in this chalice form, reflecting one that is very familiar to you. In this moment, they peer straight into your eyes, and you feel as if they are looking through you. You can see they stare intently. They never blink. And that is something that you clock, as for the entire duration of this kind of interaction, they never blink. But they say, "Soul beyond eyes, mind beyond spirit, you are seen. We have held on to the light. We have honored you." And they bow deeply. They bend down to one knee, and they are now kneeling at your kind of front.
Oh, no.
And they stand, and they turn to the rest of you. They ignore you now. And they say, "Justicars, tarry no longer. In the Starburned fields, you will be surrounded by danger. We make for the Divine Court now." And they turn, and they 5 feet off the ground just float, and then 30 feet, 60 feet off. Are you following?
Yeah, into the carriage.
So you,
Twelve.
It's still stuck in the muck, right?
it is still stuck in the muck. There's no horses that come.
I have
I will cast
the brain.
There's the
levitate
word for it.
upon
it
the
is-
cart.
yeah.
Oh, very good.
No, it's
No, it's
twa.
twa.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
twa!
Yeah.
Because
I grab the thing and go twa.
Well, I'm holding it.
He grabs it
Steal
from you. Give me that.
Who's driving?
I would get back.
Okay.
I would try to
You're on-
start
yeah, you're on the cart, you're on
lifting
the
it
cart,
to get
no
it out
problem.
of the muckies.
I would cast levitate on a cart so we can maneuver it out of the mud.
Okay.
So we can twaff over.
I'm strength sucked, so I'm just gonna go in and like curl up.
You levitate this up. You pull yourself
Whoop,
into
let
this
me get
cart.
off the front. Whoa!
It's a little bit of a mess as this person's just taking off, but you can see they are glowing brightly, and that allows you to track them through the darkness of the space. Because it is 8:30, we're going to step away for a quick break, and then we will return to the final part of your journey to the Divine Court. But thank you for joining us. There'll be a countdown on your screen. We'll be back at the end of it. we're back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. If you did, if not, we're playing D&D, and now you are too.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you want to or not.
You rolled real low on your perception check. You've been here the whole time.
When we left off, you all began to take off towards the Divine Court, following this glowing individual who flies above the ground. You resummoned your horses, you pulled the cart out of the mud, and you set off across the desolate landscape. And it is desolate here. It is a plains that you go across, and as you get closer, the little birches and elements of trees fall away, and there's just stone, and it looks very much like the Fields of Folly. Though there are marked differences here. Who's keeping watch as you make your way across the space?
I would probably be, because I'm...
Ori, go ahead and make a perception check
front.
as you the horses through
I'm on the
the
front as
darkness. Valis, go ahead and make a perception check as well. It's the two of you.
27.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Nice.
For both of you, in the space, you note that the grass, in the darkness, it would be hard to tell, but with a keen eye for detail and with just some dumb fucking luck, you note that the green has given away to a much more white appearance. And this is not dead grass. This seems almost bleached. And as you continue to move forward, you see the stones as well seem to be a little bit brighter in color. And after about an hour, you note that there are again at the peripheries of your travel, and good as you move along quick, there are shadows that depart from the elements of the stone and the little muddy sort of pits and begin to slither towards you, but you leave them in your wake. You eventually, after about a half an hour, begin to see much clearer a tower that is of a white material that is unclear to either of you. You've never seen something like this. It looks kind of like stone, but there is a smoothness to it and a texture that is unfamiliar to you. This is the building that is called the Divine Court. It is a towering structure. You see it reaches up into the sky, and in the center of an angular kind of pyramid-like top, there is a glowing point of silver that seems to float within this bit of architecture. It casts a light on the ground here. As you approach this building, right outside the front of it, where there is no doors but just an opening to a massive hallway within, you can see another star elf. This figure, standing about 6'6", and as you approach the other individual, alights directly next to them and points. And the two of them turn, and you can see they regard you, Ori and Valis, on the front. This elf also has skin that glimmers as if liquid silver runs beneath it. They have very simple white robes fastened with these silver chains tipped in hooks that are each holstered in these silver rings that are attached to thin metal armor over the robes themselves. And there are these celestial glyphs that are inscribed into this that glow faintly. You can see there is a white hood, but this is down, and there are tattoos on their neck, on their arms, that is almost of like a silvery ink, and as you get closer, you can see constellations just marked across their arms and neck. You also see they're wearing glowing ethereal bracers that have an almost translucent sort of appearance to them, but as they turn and move, you can see there is just these kind of flashes of starlight underneath, and you can see there are boots that seem to be a little bit different than the rest of their attire. They're wearing almost entirely white, and these boots are pitch black, and as they take a step closer towards all of you, you can see there is this like puff of smoke that comes out the back of them. Are you all stopping the cart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would stop the cart.
Okay.
Just keep going. I just
We're going forward.
Can't stop for anyone!
But I can make it over that cliff.
Ramp it.
He's gonna Thelma and Louise us.
Out of the
You see
way!
the elf turns and says, "Those Duke boys are at it together." You stop the cart. Are you all making your way over on foot to these individuals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing seems untoward, right?
Make an insight check.
I mean, we know that there's danger, but like, no imminent threats, right?
Pretty sure we're going towards them.
Right. But I'm saying like,
We are
this
the
is
danger.
not like, this is not some sort of setup or something.
We're not
Um,
the danger.
That's 27.
Okay.
Most
With the
of the
27, you look at these individuals, and the first thing that you note is that even with the 27, there is a difficulty to reading them, and you're seeing, as you look at their faces, they're elves. And as somebody with a similar kind of lineage, you know that looks can be a little bit deceiving, but you generally have an idea when you look at somebody of how old they are. You have no idea. And it's a little bit beguiling. As you look at them, there's like an uncanny valleyness to the faces. They're almost too perfect. You can see they glow a little bit from within. And there's something really hard to put your finger on, but you get the sense that even if you could read their intentions, the motivations of somebody like this would be really hard to. Even if you could read what the intentions were, what that might mean would be really hard to understand. As you look at them, they're not looking at you. Both of these individuals are squinting and seem to be looking almost through this cart, and you gather with the 27, they are looking at Minka. But there is no overt hostility here. There is a little bit of curiosity, there is a little bit of mistrust, but there is also a little bit of hope.
Okay. Then yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like look over at Minka again, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna try to blow up her spot or anything. I'm like,
Sure.
damn.
They're looking at Minka, or he's looking at Minka. Now Valis is like, oh, what do we look at? Valis is looking at Minka.
I think at this point, with the amount of people looking at her, she'll just kind of like start self-consciously, like, kind of like just pulling at her hair and just like
Oh, shit.
maybe kind of like start to scoot behind anyone who is like not looking at her to be like,
Shit, Valis is
The taller of the two.
Humming Minka the Malicious.
oh no.
The taller of the two steps forwards, and they look first at you, Ori, and they say, Ori, Valis, Cheshire, Billy, Alina, Minka. And they travel across the space towards you, Minka.
Who is this?
This is Kyberius Etherglass.
Ah.
They are the taller of the two
The
individuals.
falling star.
The fallen star. They do not glow with radiant energy, and in fact, the other person too drops their chalice form, and so now they stand only by the light of this tower and the light that is provided by the little sort of inset lanterns that are incredibly ornate. These silvery pieces of metal that glow with the starlight from within, but those off and within the tower, just a little bit of light coming through the door. They step up to you, Minka, and they kind of look almost through you. You can see they peer in their eyes, and they too don't blink. They just kind of look, and they nod, and they turn back to their other companion, and they say, "You are right. And you are right to bring them here." They turn back to you, and they say, Justiciars of the treaty, Fearsome sent word that you would all arrive. Welcome to the Divine Court. I have been told that you all follow a death wish north, and that you would have our help, just as the other two groups did.
Oh, two. Okay.
Two groups of justiciars as well.
Yes,
I take it the other groups weren't successful?
only one of the 8 came back.
Who?
Yeah.
They turn and they look at you, and they say, "Has Fearsome not told you any of this?"
I look to the rest of you.
He's sparing with his information.
We
giving.
didn't ask.
We also never know what to ask.
We knew that there are people before us, and at least something got set on fire at least once. And we are definitely...
Minka, you see just a faint smile cross, and they nod. That was the one that came back.
The arsonist.
A dwarf, beardless upon the return.
Oh.
Damn.
Did he have anything helpful to say about what he saw there?
Could we also maybe not talk in the entryway.
Right, should we go inside?
He nods. And he says, please, come within. You are guests of the Divine Court, and though our number are few, our hospitality will be great.
Should we just leave the carriage here? Is there somewhere we can put it?
They nod, and they say, your horses are not of this plane. I would dismiss them. They will attract attention.
I say the word that I know.
You just suck the word back in, and the horses vanish, and the cart just kind of forwards.
Tomorrow I can put the cart back in my ring, unless we're going to use it some more.
They nod, and they say, if you would have our help, we will require yours in turn, and the cart may prove helpful for that quest. They turn and begin to walk inside. You all following?
Yeah. I have a question.
Sure.
When this Tiberius addressed us, did he hesitate for a second? With
For
a
like
little
a
bit of
good couple
disgust
seconds.
for Billy?
Not disgust.
Or like, what was vibe?
With
vibe
27
check on
as an
Billy.
insight, you vibe checking Billy.
Well, vibe check him on Billy. You know,
I
With
checked
a
the vibe
27 of insight, they said Ori, Valis, Cheshire, and then for whatever reason, there was a really long pause before Billy, and then no pause before Alina, and no pause before Minka. That's weird.
yeah.
You clock that, and there is something certainly to that. What that could be, it seems as if perhaps this person knows more about Billy than they are letting on.
Billy's actually her middle name.
Billy is actually an acronym. She's an android!
Oh, shit!
Tune in
Holy
for
shit!
Starfinders Thursday, 6:30 p.m.
Are we
Eastern
finally
Standard.
going to get our Flintstones and Jetsons
Yeah.
moment?
Yes.
But you make your way into the central chamber. Here you can see there is a long stone banquet hall and then two huge staircases that go up either side to a landing and then up around the other side to like a second floor. But the second floor in this structure, it's like 60-foot ceilings. It's towering and goes up and into the darkness. Minka, are you projecting any light right now?
I would have dropped it while we were in the cart, so I'm not just awkwardly blinding everyone as we're just riding.
So the ceiling kind of lost the shadows up above you, but along this long stone table, there is just like this big tray that's set out, and there is just very simple like bread, butter. There is a like really withered up looking bunch of grapes that doesn't look that great, often on one distance, but that's kind of set out. They gesture for you to sit. They go and sit kind of near one end of the table. Are you all sitting?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I'm eating.
Okay. It's kind of stale. And as you like all sit, they would say, please forgive the rations. We've had some trouble getting supplies in lately.
Alina's gonna be like, maybe we can provide some luxury, and she pulls out the plate and wishes a lovely feast into existence.
Okay. You wish one lovely feast, TM, into existence. And as everybody knows, a lovely feast includes one ham, one turkey, this
A glass of milk and a glass of orange.
exactly. A tube of toothpaste.
Some warm water.
Yeah. You create a
Even
very
lasagna.
nice feast.
It's lovely.
And as it extends out, you can see there is certainly like appreciation. They nod to you and they say, a useful trick. Thank you. They turn and look around at all of you. Their gaze lingers on you a little bit longer, but they turn and they say,
I'll kind of like lean towards whoever's closest to me to be like, I don't know who I'm sitting next to, but whoever it is.
sure.
Just a chocolate just push through.
Res gets in the way.
They will say, there are a number of problems that have inflicted us recently. What are your skills, so to speak of?
Well, we just won the Battle of the Bards, so we're excellent performers.
I do some like flying around and blasting kind of stuff. Hail Sarnunos and all that.
Ori's an excellent shot. He's also really, we've cooked a lot together, so he can also cook pretty well.
Billy's an amazing sword fighter.
So broadly, I'm hearing that you're another group of fighters.
Well,
Um.
Cheshire's also very good at tactics.
Bit perceptive.
I can bake bread.
And we did win the Battle of the Bards thanks to Cheshire.
I do hope you understand that playing songs and baking bread will not help you here.
Usually when we enter a place, our adversaries fall and then we leave.
What
We don't have good follow through.
Is that the kind of help you're looking for?
Oh, we did start a village of Grugs.
You could see he turns and looks at Minka for one moment, and he says, "A curious vessel." But he turns back to you, and he says, "That would be helpful. There is a star spawn that is causing particular problems for all of us, and their injuries wrought by the weapons it wields do not heal."
We had experience with things not of this plane and banishing them back. We fought archdevils. Archdevils? No, just regular devils. Big
Still,
devils. They were
They're
big.
really big. Yeah.
What is
Closing portals. We've done that.
A couple of times.
Oh, that was good.
We looked into Levistus's tomb.
Yeah, that was
Up in the
horrible.
distance.
They turn and look at you as you say that, and they say, "Did you say Levistus's tomb?"
We closed that portal. Important to note.
Yes.
We have experience with infiltration.
What is a star spawn?
Are you all tangled up in the hells?
Not intentionally. We just keep accidentally finding more devils.
Alina's eyes gently move over to where Rez invisibly sits on her shoulder and then just back, forward.
It's more like the hells are trying to tangle against
Their
the-
attention hones in on you, Alina.
It has
And
a
they
particular
say-
smell.
What are you looking at? You hear telepathically, "I think we're busted."
We're made.
Alina's like, whoosh.
Okay.
He's, this is my familiar.
Yo.
He's usually more comfortable being invisible.
You can see he nods a little bit and looks around at all of you, waiting for like other familiars to pop out. But
That's just that one.
It's just me.
okay,
It's not that we're tangled with the hells. It seems that the places we get sent to go to protect the Treaty of Four Seasons, the forces of hell seem to be involved
well,
and against
Across
us.
a lot of very helly smelling things, right, bud?
yeah, no, tons all over the place, and it's not me. I'm very considerate of my friends. This individual looks at all
His
of
hygiene
you,
is excellent.
and he says, "Well, fortunately for you, devils will fear to walk in this place. But banishment will not work either. These creatures are from this plane, just very far away."
As in, not from Alberon?
Correct.
We've seen some pretty fucked up shit in the caves below Darkbriar, so, you know, what can be worse than that?
What is it exactly?
They look at you, Billy, when you say that, and they say, "I suspect that you've seen much worse than what's below Darkbriar." But no matter. Those experiences will be good for you. They will protect you in the time to come.
Oh my god.
This is not
Kara
like
doesn't-
anything that you have seen before. And they take the element of cloak and they pull it down to like where the clavicle is, and you can see the start of this jagged, what looks like a bite mark. If it were a human bite, the teeth would be about 3 inches across. They're huge. And where they meet, you can see there is just raw flesh and blood that in this moment kind of from forth. It is like an active pulse. And they pull this white cloth up. There is this kind of flash of arcane energy. And they grimace a little bit. And they say, "This does not heal. until the creature falls.
Then we will heal you.
They nod. If you can do this, I will send Euthelius to help you north. They will not die for your cause, but you are free to die when you reach there.
We were told you also have knowledge of the dome itself.
What do you wish to know of the dome?
We were told there's a metaphorical crack.
Or also, more succinctly, things that were in the dome are no longer in the dome.
They look at you and they say, there is no crack, but there is always a chance that something may have escaped. They turn and they briefly kind of make eye contact with the other individual, and they say, if you can, please fetch Euthelius. It will take them some time to reach us, but in the meantime, you will need to hunt tonight.
We'll need to what?
Hunt tonight.
Are there any healers here who can give me back my sap strength before we go do a hunt?
You can see the individual who has been noted as the beacon sort of steps forwards, and they are no longer glowing with this child's form. But you can see they kind of pull this plate. You've seen them before. This is very similar to the one that Valis has, though this one a little bit less ornate. And this, you see, Minka, as they pull this out, it's made of diamond. This is a glimmering, beautiful plate that must have taken immense skill to carve, because you can see intricate celestial that has been carved into the actual diamond itself. To do this on this hard of a material with that level of detail, unheard of. And in this moment, they put it on the palm of their hand, and they step forward to you, Alina, and they just smash it into your chest.
Oh.
The diamond shatters, and they cast Greater Restoration on you.
You have pre-shattered it. Thank you.
They said, for one of Sununos's, that should have been nothing.
Billy narrows her eyes like,
You can see the individual who is the fallen star kind of shakes his head no and turns back to you and says, will that suffice?
Yes, thank you. You just caught me by surprise is all. I can take it.
You can see he nods and he says, I'm sure you can. And there will be worse inflicted on you before too long.
The creature that attacked you, clearly you've faced it. Do you know any weaknesses? Or...
I suspect that you will be a useful ally against this. It does not tolerate starlight or radiant energy of any kind.
Okay. I got that.
Do you have any weapons that those of us without radiant energy shooting out of our fingertips could utilize?
Make a persuasion check, Ori, and I would say you can make it at advantage. I would say make it flat.
But you're done with
Can I
pieces
help?
of sunbeam, right?
Damn.
How are you going to help?
Not
Nope.
all of us can
Guess
do
not.
radiant damage. So if anything that can help those of us who cannot would be helpful.
What was that check?
15.
15. With the 15, they eye you up and down, and they say, it is true enough that we have weapons to spare. Our numbers are not what they once were. But within each of these weapons lies a legend. And to hold one, you must prove yourself worthy.
fuck the stars first, then you can get.
That's pretty classic, honestly.
We were
It's
also
respectable. I like it.
I'm willing to do that, I suppose.
we were also
Gives me
told
something to not die.
that you might have perhaps some armor for us as well. One of us.
I think that the implied is that we do the Starburned thing first and then we get the rewards.
Yeah, well, I'm just mentioning that that is something that we want as a reward.
Start looking.
we just keep saying Starspawn. Can we get a description, or will we just know? Will we just see it and be like, that's definitely what they're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Certainly.
Unfortunate.
But this particular creature, they all look different. From behind could be mistaken for a hill giant, though quite large. From the front, the monstrosity is clear.
Were the things that we were fighting when Narcadian found us star spawns?
They turn to Narcadian, and Narcadian shakes his head no. Narcadian steps forwards and says, those were merely shadows.
Even the big one?
Shadow giant.
Even the big one.
Just big shadow. Got it.
Shadows are what's left behind when something is vanished or vanquished. If they are destroyed near a fissure of the plains, either close to the Feywild or the Shadowfell, a shadow can be made.
So, there's one of these Starspawn that we're to hunt and destroy?
Tiberius nods his head and he says, there is one in particular that I would like for all of you to destroy. But as you travel across the Starburned Pastures, there is many creatures that you may come across. And for you, a servant of Cernunnos, there are people that you may help.
Hell yeah.
There are people out here who
Respectfully.
live out here?
Not live out here, but there is a group of hunters who have taken residence there. They mean to prove themselves to a coven of Uhex and earn Cernunnos' mark.
Do the hunters have a name for their group?
Not that I'm aware.
Does that track to me helping or a coven in Uhex in order to earn Cernunnos' mark?
I would say make a history check. You don't know a ton about Uhex.
They came up once
They did.
a while ago, yeah.
Based on the words, can Billy also rack her
You can
brain?
just make a flat history check.
Sweet.
This Bardic doesn't still exist, does
No,
it?
it does not.
Alright, I got 12.
With a 12, you rack your brain and hard to tell. You do know that Uhex exists within the sort of Autumn Courts territory within the Feywild, and so that would kind of track in terms of Cernunnos being loosely aligned with the Fall Court.
15.
With a 15, the only thing that you remember is that in Uhex, a coven is a political organization.
Ah.
At least, allegedly.
Ah.
They were messing with the meadery, remember? Yeah.
Question. If I'm hearing that, like, the shadows left behind if something dies by, like, a fissure in the plains.
Sure.
One was a fire giant?
Yeah.
Is that our fault?
Make an insight check.
Probably wasn't the same one.
Too many pages. Insight. 22?
With a 22, which is pretty good. That shadow, when you saw that greatsword, you remember being on a beach of a volcanic island and being met by another giant with a very similar blade. Maybe you might want to be on the lookout for one with two massive shields and perhaps one much larger giant with a much greater amount of damage.
Guys? I think the giants are our fault.
Chester's still like subconsciously humming,
Sure.
make it the malicious.
That fire giant that we just fought, I think we re-fought it.
The fire giant will be the least of your worries out here. Much greater beings have died.
Huh.
Okay.
So, do you know where these hunters are?
Somewhere in the Starburned Pastures, to the northwest last that I checked, but they roam.
And perhaps if we can find them, we might join our, thank you, efforts.
Perhaps you might. They are not insignificant fighters, but they are no heroes like all of you.
Do you know the names of any of them?
I do not.
Do you know how we can find the star spawn that you want us to kill?
Hunt the Starburned pastures at night. Search for clues that pull you in a direction that feels different. When I fought this creature, it didn't feel as if I was on this plane anymore. It felt cold. It felt dark.
What time is it?
At this moment, you don't, like, there's no clock around, you know? You can't, like, pull out your magical rectangle and take a look. And the Stone of Sending does not have a clock on it, so not quite sure.
Fiendishly
It's
cold,
late, though.
would
Huh?
you say?
He would turn to you and say, as I said before, fiends fear this place.
Not you though, right, Rez?
Rez goes again, like, I don't love this place. I'm pretty tough, though. I can definitely take it, but, like, I don't love this place.
Right though? You can and then tiny fist bump.
Okay, unsure, but a little fist bump.
May
Nothing.
we rest here a little bit to catch our breath before we move on? Just hunt the star spawn?
You should wait no longer than an hour.
That's
What can I
about the
do in
amount of
an
time
hour
I
to
would have
prove
requested.
myself to get a weapon.
What?
A weapon would be helpful. Proving this.
1 hour to prepare would be pretty good, yeah. And she sits down and starts
Okay.
resting.
Partaking in the lovely piece TM.
They turn to you, Minka, and they say, may I speak with you for a moment? Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna try to watch this conversation
Okay.
from afar.
They
not
do-
to,
so they do-
snoop on 'em.
They do bring you up to the staircase, the one off to the right that goes up, and then there's a landing, and then it goes up again to the second floor. Are you following them up? It's a pretty exposed stairway. The light just goes up to the second landing, and then it kind of disappears into darkness. As the two of them reach the landing, you see like a row of lanterns and very dimly light the stairs. So it's not darkness, but it's at least dim.
I want to make sure that Minka's okay, cause like I don't really trust this divine
Sure.
court.
You
Too
don't need to
much.
tell me the rationale. Are you making
Yeah.
a stealth check or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
Make a stealth check.
We're so nosy.
You get
Oh wait,
advantage.
I get advantage. I do. That's a good thing because the first one wasn't great. That's a little better. That's a 19.
Come on,
Minka, what's your
Roman.
passive?
My passive perception?
It was
Yeah.
not good. I'm looking for the bathroom.
It's
was a
19 meets
long-
and beats
it was
it.
a
You
long
hear
trip.
Ori, and
I'm gonna
next
go
to
look
you,
for the
you also
restroom.
hear
I'll be right back. Good.
and they turn, and they also see you, or you see this individual just stare you down. And in this space, it is like you can like see them in much greater detail than you should, even with your good eyesight at this distance.
Is there a restroom around?
You kind of like whisper this in the dark. They're like 80 feet away, but out loud they do say, and they raise their voice a little bit so that you can hear. They do say, yes, on that floor. An Arcadian, please help them with anything that they need. And you see an Arcadian kind of plop up, and he nods and says, right this way, come on. And pulls you
Cheshire just like
over towards...
No, you don't, because I'm running to the bathroom.
There's bathrooms off to the left and right of the entrance, right when you come in the door, so they show you where both of them are.
Thank you. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay, no problem. Free action. You make your way up, and as you get to the doorways to the second floor, you can actually see from the faint light of these newly lit lanterns the roof of this place, or the ceiling of the first floor. It's slightly arched in these little sort of recesses, and in each one you can see little bits of glass or maybe crystal that form these constellations. And if this place was fully lit, or if you took a star form here, it would be just like the night sky reflected back from that. But you step through this threshold following them and into more of like these little kind of hallways. There is sort of like what looks like almost a common area, and this is a little bit more warm. Here, there's a fireplace, there's a fire that is going. There are some like armchairs. You see that there's 5 of them kind of roughly around the fireplace, and then a couple more scattered throughout the space around tables and things like that. This seems to be a space that is a little bit more used. And they turn to you and they kind of gesture at any of the chairs, and they sit in one that is kind of central to the fire.
I would go sit in a chair.
Okay. They turn to you, and as soon as you sit down, they say, "What do you know of where you're from?"
Oh, I know lots of where I'm from. So, I'm sure you probably have not heard it because people call us hill people, apparently, which I just learned recently. So I am from this little place underground. She just like will start talking.
The
about-
Enclave.
Yeah, the Enclave. Yeah.
The Enclave of Light.
Yes, I guess though it's called less that nowadays, but yes.
So you are one of Quarvalistus's.
That name? I don't think I've ever heard that before.
You have not.
I'm like, who?
One of the founders of the Enclave.
I am not familiar with that founder, but
It was several hundred years ago.
oh,
A long time ago.
uh-huh.
There was a place that was called the Ruby Spire. It was destroyed when the continent that it was on sank,
Oh.
and its people fled in two groups.
Mm-hmm.
One, south to Dominion. It's a continent across the Emerald Expanse from here.
Heard of it.
And another group found refuge within a cave after some time.
Mhm.
And that is where they decided to return, to where all of us come from. I don't know how you came to be, but you have a great legacy across the stars. There is a group of people led by a star elf named Mianthe.
I've heard of that one.
And a long time ago, they sought to bring us home. And then the astral eclipse fell. And we lost them beyond. But we've kept Imianthe's shard. And they gesture above them to where you had seen like this floating piece of like a fallen star above. And they say, because as long as we have a piece, they will be able to find their back one day. If we can figure out a way to remove the eclipse.
Oh. You do.
It's already beginning.
Huh?
To the east,
We
the
have
stars have already returned to the sky.
seen that. Do you, because like, because is deeply struggling. Just like so. We have heard that the astral eclipse exists for a good reason. Have you considered there might be dire consequences to removing it?
What do you know of the people who have gone missing around here? In the fields of folly, in the haunt.
Do I know anything about that? I don't think so.
I guess
Outside,
not.
yeah, because like all I really remember, we really.
I would say
remember
from
about the Fields
Minka,
of
because
yeah.
Minka has heard of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for Minka. As Alana has maybe not.
Listen, the Fields of Folly was a little bit ago.
It was.
60.
60.
Because it's 15
ago.
plus 1.
Okay.
Yes.
You consider this. Yeah. You consider this, and as you think about this, you know that the Fields of Folly, full of shadows, not a whole lot of living people there.
Right?
And
Strings,
there were strings.
hitting them.
There was all kinds of stuff. There was even this kind of like place that you had to go to where you destroyed something. And that seemed to correspond to a memory drain
Yes,
somewhere else.
yes, right. Okay. And she's like, okay, yes. There are people. They were sick. Yep. We did do things there. We
The
also found a
star
burnt
spawn
car. Star spawn.
are becoming more frequent. The shadows are incurring further from the west. Bad things will happen no matter what.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think you need to understand this is a lot for me. I thought up until at most a week ago that I was from the Enclave. Period. End of discussion. And I'm still not sure how to. This is.
As I said before, they put a hand on your shoulder, kind of like almost unconsciously, like feeling a need to like slow you down a little bit, and they say, as I said before, I do not know where you came from. It is not for me or anybody else to tell you where to go.
Mm-hmm.
There are only 4 of us left. You could help us get home.
Yeah. Okay.
Our home. And you would be welcome as well.
Mhm.
But it does not have to be your home.
Right. One of my companions has said that I was a key. Does that mean anything to you?
They smile a little bit at that and they say, I suppose you're a key to us getting home.
Okay. I will do what I can. I'm still not sure about any of this. All I know is that I do understand what it means to miss home, though not quite on the same scale. And I also know what it means to yearn for something out of reach. I can't promise anything. I really don't know much about what's going on or why. All the pieces, I feel like they'll fit together soon, and I don't think any of us will like the answers. But we'll do what we can. If nothing else, I think I have a map.
To what?
Home?
You can see they nod their head. And they pull their sleeves up and they reveal these intricate tattoos. Hundreds of little points that, as they turn and kind of flex their skin, you can see there is like this radiance that kind of goes under the skin itself and shows just from these points, just for a moment, almost like a sort of prestidigitation-like effect. And as they do this, they say, I have been working on a map myself, but one does not exist. Quarvelistus took it with him when he vanished before the eclipse. If there is such an artifact, it would be from the most dangerous person that I have ever heard of.
Oh.
And that is not something that we can take or trust lightly.
We found it underneath the ocean. With the tapestry.
What is it?
An orb?
Of glass.
Etched with
You
uncountable.
should destroy that.
Oh. Okay.
The person who made it is dangerous. Incredibly dangerous. More dangerous than anything that you could possibly understand.
May or may not have been wiped from his existence and memory. Kind of dangerous.
I don't think this sort of dangerous can be removed.
Minka's gonna try to insight check to
Make an
see
insight check.
if the person that this person is referring to is the same person that she thinks he's referring to.
Make an insight check.
Do you know what I know? Or do I think that you know what I think I know?
Nobody ever speaks plainly. Why can't you just be? It's Jessica.
22.
Oh no, she's back!
I didn't say Jessica's name, damn it!
This is a person that you get the sense is really hard to read,
Uh-huh.
but they're being very candid with you. And you get the sense that there is no deception here.
Right.
What they are telling you to their core, they believe. They were telling you about star spawns and about
Yeah.
devils and about all these kind of dark things, and they didn't really bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that they're being really serious about.
Okay. Okay, so, how does one destroy something like that? I'm assuming, like, a hammer is not gonna cut it? Would lava cut it? I do know where there's a lot of that.
There are things that have been tried, but we must go home.
Okay.
This is a dangerous place.
Noted. Have seen. Or are we going to dangerous? Wait, that is also true. Okay, so, the long and short of all of this is that, there are things I need to finish here. There are things that my friends need to finish here. And I owe them so much that I will not be going anywhere until
Do you
they are
not
done.
understand why Hearsome has chosen all of you?
I didn't really think about it, to be honest. I do know that everything that we all have lost something in some way. We have someone who's lost their family. We have someone who lost their memories. We have someone who lost their purpose. We have someone who lost at least one love, and then we have
You all have loss in common,
yes.
but it isn't the loss that you've experienced yet.
Mm.
It's that you all have so much to lose. And all of you
Right.
are connected to this.
Something to hold over our heads to make sure we do it.
Something to motivate you.
Mm.
This is something that you should care about, whether Hearsome called you or not.
Well, what I mean was that I'm not in it for Hearsome. I'm in it for my friends.
You are from beyond the stars. That is how you are connected. The same thing that anchors the astral eclipse keeps your people far away. Your compatriots, many of them friends.
Mhm.
All of them have their motivations as well.
Mhm.
How much do you know about Billy?
Well, I know that she is a great fighter, and she cares very deeply, even though she pretends she doesn't. And she has died once, and that was mostly my fault. And she has aunts that are hags, and she hates them.
She nods, and they say, and all of that makes sense. When she died, how did she come back?
We wrapped her in salt.
They like nod and wait, and they wait, and that's all that you say. And they say, and it didn't strike you as curious
Oh
that
no,
that worked.
it for sure did. But, to be fair, I've seen a lot of really weird things, and I grew up under a literal rock. So I am very willing to accept that sometimes things happen, and I'm sure it will come back around eventually, that we'll find out why. But for then, it worked, and then at the time I was also worried a person was going to actually kill me over the fact that we kind of stole the artifact that we mentioned earlier.
Who did you steal the artifact from?
We were under the water in the Temple of Saloon, right? And we were asked to go get it by one of Hearsome's friends, who has a ship, and Sade, the ship, the Cat's Claw, the captain of the Cat's Claw. She asked us to get it for her because she wanted it as a map. And then we stole it because it was a map of the stars and the astral sea, and I
It
thought it was
sounds as
really
if Hearsome and I have a conversation that we need to have.
okay. I'm sure that won't come back to me at all.
He turns to you and he says, anybody who would know of this knows at least one person from the other group that fled.
They were going back to Dominion.
This is something we must be very cautious about. Do not return this orb. Destroy it or keep it safe.
We can definitely do one of those things.
They nod. And they say, be cautious of Billy. She is not back alive because of the salt.
Okay.
Is
She
literally
is
the last
under-
person.
Because
I understand
It's a lot of salt.
that she is connected to hags, and hags do things for prices, and I am assuming that she is back because of that connection. And I just am choosing to believe in Billy, and we will fight that fight when we get to it.
you can believe in Billy, but I can tell you that not even Billy believes in Billy.
Well, I mean,
And
we all have
that
self-confidence
will be a
issues.
problem. Billy may not try to hurt you, but Billy isn't thinking clearly. Be very careful where Billy leads you. What do you know about Ori?
That one's a little harder, because Ori doesn't like to talk about himself at all, which is a real shame, because we do know that he's from the Crimson Spire, right? And he's got a sister who apparently keeps running away from us, despite our best bets to try to, like, have a conversation. Probably involved with the memory dealings, at least his family is. His dad apparently an asshole. I've heard that one a lot. May or may not be the source of the Wake Peter flu. We're still working on that one. Because it definitely connected the Crimson Tower, and I may or may not be connected to each other. And it's a little bit weird, because it's all kind of wibbly wobbly. And like I said, Ori doesn't like talking about himself very much.
Ori, you're like in the bathroom, but you feel real uncomfortable.
Oh, I gotta go to the stall!
Getting filtered through the movement, guys.
I love that it's just like word vomiting.
I was standing at the urinal, but then suddenly I'm like, uh-oh.
What is that fantasy?
I like that they have a fantasy urinal and a fantasy stall in this like 12,000-year-old structure.
I hope everyone is
poop
at the
smith
table worried that Minka has been alone with this other person for so long.
That's why I was sneaking off.
You word vomit all the things that you know about Ori out, and they say it is far more complicated than that. I assure you.
Okay.
But Ori's father
Mhm.
will complicate things for all of you
Mhm.
when you go to investigate further.
Okay, like directly? Like, will he just like, bam, Ori's dad? Or like indirectly? Like, bam, Ori's dad's minions?
I haven't seen him in quite some time.
Oh, you know him personally.
I've seen him.
Okay, okay,
Be very careful.
okay. Can do that. Or
But-
he'll probably tell us it's his dad. So we'd probably be able to identify him.
I love this conversation.
And he says,
The best D&D I've ever read.
is there anything else that you want to know?
Oh, yes. If one's memories are stolen by something like, I don't know, a bunch of librarians, and they're,
The awesome lot.
yes, and they're encoded into books, right?
That's not exactly how that works, as far as I understand.
Well, we know at least one person's memory has been directly encoded into a book. We've been, like, finding those strands everywhere. Do you know if there's any way to kind of, like, track them better? If we have, like, one, can we use it to, like, find another one? Or is it kind of just they are wherever they are?
The Ocelot deals with memories and things of that nature.
Yes.
We do not. We can reincorporate memories into somebody's mind.
Mhm.
We can modify memories,
Okay.
but we cannot affect them in that way.
Okay. Okay. It was worth asking. Also, so I guess the only other thing I wouldn't wonder if you knew anything about, since you've been around for so long, apparently, is, have you ever heard of a living doll?
Of a living doll.
Perhaps more than one?
I've heard of such things in the Underdark, but what sort of living doll?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question. I guess more of the idea of something being made for a purpose and taken out of time and then brought back for a purpose. And they call themselves a doll.
I've not heard of anything like that. That sounds oddly specific, though.
It is.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Also, can anyone just explode into sand?
Not that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Surely knows about that one.
That's all I got.
Okay. They stand up. They look at you and they say, sand.
Sand. Yeah.
Let's return to the rest of your friends. But if you can help us with this star spawn, we will help you.
Excellent. We will do our best. We've done pretty good against killing things. Less so about keeping things intact.
I must warn you, passing into the Feywild near the Onyx Spire and the Dome is immensely dangerous. That is where these groups have not gone back from. Euthelius brought both of them there.
Okay.
He may be able to tell you more.
Okay.
Euthelius is intense.
More or less intense than what you and...
He's
Significantly more.
Oh no.
Euthelius has made great strides, but has experienced some negative ramifications from the demonic incursions in Dominion, and as such is slow to trust, and I imagine will have some friction with Billy.
That we can work with. That's known territory, and so is deeply traumatized individuals. If you have seen our group,
They nod their head. They stand up and kind of guide you back down the stairs. All of you see the door open. There is like a flush of a fantasy toilet, and Ori also makes his way out of the stall.
I can be vastly entertaining when I want to.
30 minutes has passed. Like 15 minutes has passed. And,
I feel 30 pounds lighter.
is there anything that all of you want to do before you make your way back out? Yeah.
Yes. So when they come back out, Alina is gonna find a moment to be like, excuse me, I hope this isn't rude, but do you have a teleportation circle here that I can study?
We do.
May I? It would be much easier to make our way back.
Make a persuasion check.
Is the weapon improving myself by doing this thing?
By pooping.
Yeah, you get a poop knife.
That was right out of the back. That's really, yeah.
27.
It was a 30-pound poop.
Plus 20.
With a 27, they say, very well. Narcadian, can you take them to the teleportation room, please? And Narcadian makes their way over, and they lead you up the stairs. You follow like the same path that Minka took. You make your way into this room, and it's much warmer on the second floor. There's a fireplace. There's these like stuffed armchairs and some bookcases. And beyond the bookcases, there's another set of stairs that is just straight and goes up. And they lead you through these staircases as well. And you emerge into a room that is circular and entirely lined with these like bookshelves that go out. And so there's two sides, books, and then like just the flat wall, also books. There must be no fewer than like 1,000 tomes in this space. And in the center of all of that, there is a stone circle. And this stone circle has these sigils of teleportation around it. And you can spend a little bit of time copying these if you wish.
Okay. Can I get a short rest and also do that, or do I have to pick one of the
You gotta pick one or the
Okay.
other.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Way worth it.
No worries.
as Minka's walking back down the stairs, with gray beard. She'd be like, "Oh, have you ever met my mom? She seemed to have met a lot of people."
As I said, I don't know where you're from.
Okay. Just curious.
Who is your mother?
Alana forgot her mom's real
Lot.
name. Lot. Yeah, but like she has a longer name apparently.
You
That-
know, I believe
Lot.
Teshia.
Wait,
Teshia.
tell us
Teshia.
Shia.
Yes. Tashia.
A wonderful name, but not one of our people.
Okay. Because that would be another like shock. So, but she has seemed to, she apparently was part of a adventuring group back in the day and knows a lot of people, so I didn't know if you'd ever cross paths.
I know that this news of another home is a lot for you. Would you like to know more about your mother?
I mean, mine directly, yes.
What's that?
Like, yes. Like mine. The one I'm thinking of.
They kind of reach into their pack, this white leather satchel by their side,
Mhm.
and they pull out a crystal ball. And they gesture towards the table, and they sit. You all see this individual, like flowing white robes, his led Minka back down. They sit down at this table, and for you, especially Billy, you see this crystal ball just plop right down in the center. Give me one second here.
Billy's extra good at seeing it.
Why am I extra good at seeing it?
You've seen crystal balls used for a variety of different things before, and so it's pretty powerful magic to use these in this way. One second here. Okay. So they hold a hand over this ball, and they look at you, and they say, "Focus on her image. Close your minds and let these images flow past what you know, past what you've seen, and into what was." And as you kind of gaze at this ball, you can see your mother, much younger, maybe 15, 16 years old, and in the woods. You can see just traveling, kind of making their way. They look a little bit beat up, and there is just a blur of motion. You feel years go by, and all of a sudden you see your mom, an adult now, wearing leather armor, and you see a bright red shield just emblazoned across the chest. You see they are helping people kind of cross away from this dark buildings on this coastal ocean city to a much freer place. You can see, like, off in the distance, the imagery of a beautiful citadel or cathedral, perhaps, that's glowing with radiant energy in this peaceful little tranquil valley in the middle of a beautiful, like, foresty continent. I would say you're not familiar with it, but it almost comes to you in your mind. This is Dominion. And you are seeing your mother guide people to the capital city of this place, Sarentil. You see time speeds up, and Lot spends some time in this place. You see Lot kind of change out of this armor and suddenly don this new garb. It's plate mail. And you can see kind of dressed in a similar way to Valis. This is, you see Teshia Lot kind of don this shield, and it has on it these 6 shining stars. You see all of a sudden the sky darken, and as the years fly by again, you see your mother dressed in full Shield of Sarentil armor with this glowing shield, words just emblazoned, glowing away, this arcane shield on top of the layer of shield that provides as she fights demons. And you can see back to back, shoulder to shoulder, with an individual, an elf who is quite tall. You can see they wear black armor, this mask that covers the lower part of their face. There is a simple but very chilling kind of smile that has been tooled into the leather itself. They fight like shoulder to shoulder against demons and devils, and there is just this blur of combat across Dungannon as they seem to fight back against a demonic incursion. And as like it draws out, you see this is a true invasion that is happening, and your mother standing in the middle of this space just holding her own. Time speeds up. You can see your mother has crossed oceans that you have never seen before. You see your mother's ship waylaid by a fierce storm. You see she winds up on the northwestern tip of Mythal Stream. You see only 15 people from that boat survived and spent 50 years surviving, building most of a ship only to have it wrecked by a dragon. And your mother
no.
fought and survived, though
no.
had to escape, charting passage to a city called Darkbriar, where she arrived right around the year 1000. And you see here your mom following these tales of a plague up north, crossing the tongue of fire, a burning bridge of land, no wider than 100 feet across, where dragons fly overhead. Even as the dragons have left most of the planet, this is where they still remained. And this is a devastatingly dangerous place, but you see your mother side by side with countless dragonborn. And there she focuses on some kind of an illness that seems to sweep this place. Many dragonborn with scales that seem so putrid and on the verge of shattering. And seeking more help, your mother crossed back and into Everest, and searching for a group of scholars, found her way underground to the north of Darkbriar. And there you see her meeting somebody, and you hear next to you this person who is showing you all of this, their voice catch. And you hear them whisper, Corva. And this person, a elf very much like them, kind of glowing underneath. This is an individual who is almost certainly a star elf, and you can see your mom meeting them. And there's secrecy in this meeting. And you see a chamber that you have never seen before, but almost certainly in the Enclave. You see this thing that looks not unlike the sort of shard of star that floats above this tower, sealed in a chamber, dark and far away. And your mother and this person look at each other, and this person vanishes. And your mother steps back, and the door shuts, and you see just stone wall. Make a flat intelligence check.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, 19. My +1 coming in clutch.
Behind the house that you grew up in, there is a flat stone wall that makes up the exterior cavern of the Enclave. It's unremarkable, almost markedly unremarkable.
Uh-oh.
And as your mom steps back and turns around to walk back into her house, that is where that is. This is no further than 50 feet away from where you grew up. And the vision ends.
I was about to stop watching because I feel like I've already have forbidden knowledge. My mom's gonna be so mad.
You can say that, Ashley, like, pulls her hands away, like, my mom's gonna be so mad!
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, oh no.
And this star elf draws in a brief breath, and then an interesting person, your mother.
Oh no.
I feel like I'm in trouble.
Billy wants to insight check the crystal ball person.
Make an insight check.
Who's the crystal ball person again?
Tiberius.
It's
This is
Tiberius.
Tiberius.
We all
yeah.
see this too?
Yeah, not unless you're like right over it. You're not
Right.
seeing things in the crystal ball. If you're close by, you certainly
Right.
can.
But like if we're all at the table, it's like.
But for many
Like,
of you,
yeah, we should
you're
look
seeing
at
like swirling images in the mist. Minka is seeing and understanding all
Yeah.
of this with the context.
Billy just knows that he's also watching the crystal ball, so Billy's been watching him.
Sure.
21.
And Ori's been watching Billy watching.
And Leon's getting large.
With the 21, though no persuasion check had to be made to kind of get the information, you've seen a version of legend lore before. This is honest. This is real. What this person is showing is motivated by curiosity about Minka. Beyond that, not much that you could tell.
Okay. So, just morbid Minka curiosity is what Billy sees, and not like just basically sifting her for information.
No, you're really seeing some. Well, I mean, kind of in a way. Like they
It's
genuinely
like a
don't.
curiosity kind, but
Yeah.
not like a.
Not malicious.
And when they
Yes.
turned and they asked Minka, "Do you want to see this?" That was fully like actually a question. It wasn't trickery of any kind, and it was really geared towards, "Do you, Minka, want to see this?" Not, "I want to see this also." The curiosity really kind of came in more as this tale unfolded, there was much more than they were expecting. They were waiting to see like a shepherd. Yeah, make it in the way that Minka speaks.
This weird innocent child.
And then there
an
was
outlier.
Yeah, right.
like a demonic war and like fighting against a plague in Ganon and all these other things that were just way more than they were bargaining for. So just the curiosity came after they started the
Okay,
process.
so Billy would just basically watch somebody and be like,
And then they watched the whole Titanic. Yeah.
Both
Both VHSs. Yeah.
Save some money.
Deep cut, yeah.
I'm glad we had similar experiences.
Yeah.
With
Went to
home
West Coast
viewing of the movie
Videos and rented
Titanic.
both VHSs. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Can't look at you.
So is there anything else that you want to do during this hour? Yes, Tuxedo Mask.
I want to saddle up the Narcadian
Sure.
and say, hello, Narcadian.
They turn and they look at you.
I believe Hearsome advised us to seek some guidance for you, as you may know more about the workings around here. Do you have any advice for us for where we intend to tread?
Advice for you on where you intend to tread. You're looking for the star spawn?
Yes.
Then you should follow the darkness and the broken bodies if you can find them. Find a place where trees grow again. But you should be careful. There are many things that have been lost in this fields. There are people that you have seen return as shadows, but there are worse than that as well. There are creatures from beyond these stars called Starspawn that are different than the ones that you hunt, and they will hunt you. There have been giants that have fallen in this place, but worse than any of those, and what you must avoid at all costs, is the shadow of Doxel Grosh, the Fang of Brethel.
Do I know what that is?
Make a history check.
Selena comes back downstairs. She's like, that sounds
Does
like a
that
dragon
mean
name.
Make a history check.
Slutty 20.
Is that natural then, or is that is there some plastic
You
in there?
think back to like your new memories that you've regained from the Ocelot, and there's like a sexy teacher. Everybody wears just the black robes with like the green cross in front. There's nothing sexy about it, but this one, maybe they got it tailored or something. But
The glasses are tilted just right.
they take the glasses off, and suddenly the hair isn't bushy anymore.
It's handsome Ori underneath.
With a 20, you hear this, and certainly not just a dragon. A long time ago, there was a town located just a little bit west of where Uhex is located called Brethel. This town was destroyed by a blue dragon. You've never heard the name, but now that you hear it, this is probably that blue dragon. And they're speaking about the shadow of this. So a shadow dragon.
For those of us actively taking notes and requiring names, would the DM be so kind as to spell out the name?
Doxel Grosh is Doxxal apostrophe Grosh.
That was pretty close.
The Imperial Fang of Brethel.
I originally wrote Dox Grox.
Dox Grox.
I know a
What he has
dragon
already
named
been
through
double
enough.
X pronounced
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
ship
Leave
when I hear
rocks
one.
alone.
Is there anything that we can do to save those who've been lost or been turned into shadows?
Fuck 'em up.
Destroying the shadows with radiant light should set the spirits free.
That's good to know. Thank you.
Which brings me back to the radiant light weapons.
Or he says from the side.
He does the math in his head.
I just dropped a
Helpful.
deuce and I'm ready to talk now.
Well, I saved 10 people today.
He nods his head and he says, "There are horrors that we have to face here. There are dark creatures that we must slay. but that is the silver lining. They just kind of nod their head. Anything else from anybody else? The hour passes very quickly for you, Alina, too quickly. You're like, all right, I get to start my rest. The hour has passed. You've already written down, but you can add the teleportation circle for the Divine Court to your key ring of teleportation circles.
Worth it.
For the rest of you, I believe all of you can mark off long rest if you are trying, or sorry, short rests if you are trying to take one.
Too late.
Too late, I'm long rested, and I leveled up.
Oh, level 20.
And as the hour passes, Tiberius turns to all of you and says, before too long passes, you should be on your way. This creature will only make itself known between midnight and 6.
What time is this now?
They turn to you and they say, it is almost midnight.
Then we should go.
Do you recommend going by carriage? I think you mentioned that.
I think it will help you cover more ground.
Where can we... Is there any place that we can find rest in case we need to?
You could return here, and I would recommend returning here to rest.
Okay.
Do not rest in the Starburned Pastures.
How far does the beacon hold the star shard above? Is that easy to see from a distance?
You should be able to see it from close to a quarter mile away.
Okay, so at least we won't be completely lost.
If you can turn and not see the beacon from that close, you have traveled very close to the star spawn indeed.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's something to keep in mind.
Well, if that's all, then I guess we should be going.
Slap in the back.
Well,
You all stand and make your way to the lobby. Ori, you really kind of hope that maybe they're going to be like, wait a minute, are you sure you wouldn't like some radiant weapons? But they never do. They never do.
Before
And
I help you with a fucking thing where it's fucking helpful.
probably would, but you know,
prove yourself first.
you got to
Don't
prove
poop yourself.
So you make your way back out through the space into your cart. You can resummon your horses if you want, no problem. And are you all making your way off a little bit to the northwest and in the direction of the Starburned Pastures?
Wasn't Athelius supposed to come with us?
No, that's
They're going to fetch Euthelius. They'll probably be here in the morning or right around midday.
He's gonna bring us up to the dome,
Correct.
once we get back.
Ah.
Thank you.
He's dome
We
boy.
gotta go fuck up this thing tonight, and then when we
And
come
then
back,
by the time
having
we get
fucked
back-
up this thing,
Yeah, I
we
gotcha.
will be free to go.
In that case, yeah.
Okay.
You twa.
You twat
and
horse
then,
off
yeah.
in the distance, and you make your way off. Who is driving the? You're driving the horses.
I have pretty decent dark vision, so I'll at least be up
Okay.
front. I'll
So
hold
you
the things
begin-
that
I'll
nobody
also
else is.
be up front unless anyone else wants to be.
I would have been up front, but if you want to be up front, you can be up front.
I'm up front.
Okay. You have your
Cheshire
tuxedo and
sprawled
your
out
mount.
across one whole bench. per
Whoever's
usual.
Okay.
in the cart
Trash
with
spreading.
Mega, she would be like, they knew so much about us. Like a worrying amount. And also here's I might be in trouble. That, I mean, in trouble
With
by
who?
Tiberius.
Explain
They
in detail.
and then Mika will just recount her experience with the Tiberius upstairs about
Okay.
mentioning a bunch of stuff and being like, they were like, how much you know about everyone, and they were like, kind of being like, not suspicious about it, but just being like, you be careful about things, and I'll be like, oh yeah, also they expect us to, for me to be able to let them go home.
So while you're having this conversation, totally cool. Really quick.
Yeah.
Can you make a D100 roll as you are steering the cart?
Does Minka mention the desire to eliminate the eclipse?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
If you're like,
Billy
go.
pulls out the stone.
Okay.
68.
Okay.
so close stone. Oh right, you have the frickin' stone now.
I have the beep boop.
Yep. Also to be like, also we definitely need to destroy that star map.
Yes. It's in the bag of holding. Do you want it?
No.
So you take out the sending stone.
Mhm.
You
I
type
beep
in
it.
the words of power.
Yep.
The glyph kind of. Hello. And you hear Hearsome.
I'm not available to come to the phone right now.
I've got you.
Damn it.
No, you do hear him.
So people who would prefer to see the eclipse go away, did you count the Divine Court in that number?
No.
It seems as though they desire its absence so that they can return home.
Who's around you right now, Billy?
We're in the coach hunting Starspawn, and it's just
Hi.
Cheshire, Ori. You can't hear him.
I'm saying hi to you.
Cheshire, Ori, and Minka.
Get their help. But whatever you do, do not drop the eclipse.
I'm cool with that.
Cool with what?
Also, Kyberius might be contacting you regarding the star map. The orb that Minka has.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you a heads up in case. He seemed displeased.
Very well. He's allowed to be displeased, you know.
I agree. Just
reading my calls.
I'm allowed to alert you.
Well, thank you, Billy.
And thank you. How does one end sending stones?
The glyph just goes down. And it seems like you found the words of power.
Hey, how does one do this?
So you have that call. For you, Alina,
Yeah.
you mush the horses.
I do.
You make your way forward, and with your great dark vision, it's a good thing that you're up front, because yawning open in front of you, you have 120 feet dark vision. 120 feet ahead, there is a massive crevice. It is dark and kind of opens into the white earth here, and you do see in the earth, as you kind of like slow the horses, because it kind of goes out in feet and feet to the left and the right, you need to travel in one of those directions to go around. It is, well, it's only 20 feet across, so you could just ramp it if you want.
Minka, build me a ramp.
But you see in this crevice of earth, there is striated lines that do reflect the bits of light that come off your cart. Any little bits do reflect a little bit. There's something shiny in there. No further than maybe 3 feet down, the crevice becomes much more narrow. And so, though your cart would certainly get lodged in this, it's not like a terrible fall. Make a perception check as you near it.
23.
With 23, you see it gets much shallower and narrower as it goes down, but there is a thin seam of darkness, and you can see that there is a much larger space underneath, and there are little bits of light that glisten off of that. There's some kind of a mineral deposit or some kind of a shiny stone or many bits of shiny stone in this thing. But it is a crevice. It would be dangerous for your cart to cross. You could go left or right to go around.
I'll just bring the cart to a halt and be like, hey guys,
Why are you stopping?
there's a
We got a couple hours to
there's a
get there.
crevice with shiny shit. We have to decide which way to
Is
turn.
that a star spawn? It's not a star spawn, is it?
Can someone besides Ori talk to me from in there?
Billy kicks Ori.
Ow.
Minka's gonna look out the window to be like, shiny.
Just take a look. I don't know. There's shiny stuff in there.
Make a shiny rock check.
What's
Shine a
out
rock
there?
check.
What's all this hubbub?
Make a
about?
perception check.
Ah, dang it. There's a really shitty roll.
Oh, no, not
It's-
the shiny rock check.
I don't know why we're stopping here. It's an 18.
9.
A
Okay.
9. You're looking around, but all the rock that you're seeing out there is just nice.
Mm.
You're not seeing anything that's like shiny, and I mean nice with a G.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not really seeing anything that is reflective or
Mm-hmm.
special.
Oh, you're probably just seeing like clusters of quartz deposits. Nothing.
It was an 18.
With an 18, you see just a hole in the ground.
It's just a hole. Just go around.
Hey,
How-
jeez.
is
And
it-
she turns left.
I also want to make a perception check. Is it
Make a perception.
I have dark vision 60 feet.
Okay.
22.
With the 22, you can see like little bits of sparkle that come out of this space. You can see that there seems to be a much larger space under this kind of crack that narrows. There is probably like a cave or a cauldron underneath and something shining.
I relay that to the group. I think
Maybe reflecting, not shining.
might also possibly be a reflection. How far is it?
Well, when Alina stops the cart, maybe like 30 feet away.
I can take a quick closer look.
Oh, I don't know. Fissures in the ground like that often have pockets of stale air.
We have
Or still air, more accurately.
we have 6 hours to go and find this thing.
You're right. We do have a lot of time. I'll check
It's
this
not
out.
Alice pops off. All of you hear clang as he gets out of the ground.
Well, if there's anything dangerous down there, they know we're here now.
You sidle
That's
up to the side of this crevice, and with the 22 and being a little bit closer, you can see it narrows to about 3 feet across, 3 feet deep, and then just after maybe like an inch or two, there is like this dark line that reveals that underneath there is a cauldron, probably about 20 feet across. And down there,
When you say a cauldron,
Like
do
a
you
litter-
mean like a man-made
pocket
cauldron or
dome.
like
no,
a?
so it's a cauldron is like a cave in the earth.
Okay, that's what I
I'm glad
thought.
I wasn't the only one who was
Yeah, this sounds like a
No, it's
geographical feature.
Geographical
It's
feature
like
cauldron.
a-
Yes.
Yeah.
Shaped like a cauldron if you were to take a cross section.
It's more of like an oval space within the earth, but you can see just a thin line that shows you. If you got down, you could like peer in and really see better. But without even doing that, you can see that there is like places where this thin line has been covered by dirt because somebody at some point has fallen through. That reflection, it's coming off plate mail armor. And you can see this plate mail, as you get a little closer and look down, is wedged into a place where it gets much more narrow before widening into the larger cauldron. You can see what looks like marks of somebody trying to escape, but there are bones within this armor. They did not seem to make it. And as you get closer, you see bits of gleaming white stone with striations of reflections that dazzle and gleam down at the bottom of this space. Perhaps what they were trying to get to. It's maybe crystalline specimens of some kind.
Okay. I relay that to the group.
Okay.
Does this sound like any rock I've heard of?
Make a nature check.
Let's say we
Much
move
better.
on.
Yeah,
19.
definitely. Get back here.
What Val's is describing sounds an awful lot like moonstone. Raw moonstone.
Is
It's probably moonstone?
that valuable or rare?
I mean, valuable, yes. Rare. I don't know how rare moonstone would be in this.
It's really uncommon to find it this close to the surface.
Yeah.
Being in a cauldron makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's not super common.
I mean, it's cool, but like, I
What
wouldn't.
you got to, if it's
risk-
cool, just
Come
send
on.
one of your magic invisible things,
I
a
mean,
res or something.
if
Just go
we're-
grab it.
If we're gonna stop for it, I'll go.
We're already
grab
stopped.
some, but like, I
The
don't
problem
want
is
to
that we're
derail the whole
stopped.
thing.
Well,
over
we've
it.
already stopped.
about we
so
stop on
just
the way
get it and be
back?
on our way.
Yeah, the only reason
Yeah,
I
we
stopped was because I don't know what's important when you're hunting a star spawn. Okay, so
That's
just chill.
fair. It could be the star spawn's lair.
No,
It's
this looks
probably-
too small.
It's probably like a pocket.
Does this look suspicious, or is it just a hole?
Oh, we've
With, like, the
investigated
stuff
it
down,
now. It's not
you know.
suspicious.
Make
This-
an-
the stuff that has been
Just-
described now, like
Make an
Giving
insight check with an
Alina credit.
incredibly high DC.
well, like
I am.
did this
doing
guy just
really
fall
good,
in and
I'm
get
sitting
trapped
in
and
the
couldn't
cart.
get out, or did something attack
Make an
him?
insight
We
check.
have to
Yeah.
really
Like,
go
was it set
somewhere
up
because
from
it's-
I would
will
like
pop
to
down that
cast-
hole. Please do not.
Detect magic to see if that adventurer had any magical stuff on him.
With the 25, as Valis is peering down, you can see there are marks from fingers trying desperately to like claw their way out. This person probably didn't even look down in here. They probably walked across what to them seemed like flat earth, and then they fell in.
collapsed it. So it was like
More dirt has fallen in and kind of sealed much of this again, but they seem like they just fell.
So this was just a hollow in the earth that opened up, essentially.
Seems like it.
So we go around and take a wide route around so we don't fall in further.
You cast
Agreed.
Detect Magic across this space, and the only thing that pings is very weak. It seems like probably a healing potion.
Okay.
Alright, well, if you don't have one of those magic hands to go grab it, then let's just go.
I send my mage hand down to grab it.
You see suddenly a magic hand just right down,
Didn't
and
have to
you
be so
rifle through the
complicated.
pockets. And you grab what Valis indicates, and you pull out. It is just a basic healing potion.
I hand it to Ori and say, "Let's go."
Oh, I was talking about the stones.
Go! Ah! Billy shouts from inside the coach.
Are you horses disappear?
Damn it!
Are
Not
you,
holding the reins. How did that work?
are you all making your way back to the cart
I am.
Billy never
Yeah.
leaves.
Yeah, I
Treasure
didn't even
never
get
left.
out. Looked
with
up the
one more
fucking
healing
door,
potion
was
in
like,
your collective inventories? Alina, go ahead and roll a D100 as you make your way away from this cauldron in the earth.
There are slight claw marks on the side where Minka's sitting as she's restrained herself.
Yeah,
from
for sure.
Diving down into the hole.
Treasure's like again, like mean mugging. Like,
Yeah.
Not.
To see those striations means that there was very large flat sections exposed, and those must have been pretty large pieces of moonstone.
38.
38. Okay.
I don't know what your table has on it, Joe.
38 bees!
Just
Just
38 individual
outside.
beans just
Line.
fall.
In a line, 38 beans.
You travel.
Bees!
You travel
Bees?
through these darkened lands, and as you make your way across, you do see one or two trees. And you had not seen these for some time.
I warned the group that
Trees?
Narcadian told us to find where trees grow again
Oh, yeah.
to find the star spawn. Oh, also at this point, oh, by the way, we need to avoid the dragon. I relay that to the group.
What?
The dragon shadow. But
So at
anyways.
this point, Valis lets you know that there is some sort of dragon.
I'm sorry?
Sir?
A shadow dragon?
You didn't say shadow dragon, you just said dragon.
But everything here is shadows.
It's not necessary. There's a star spot. We don't know if that's a shadow. What
It's
the
shadow
fuck are you talking about?
I am gonna slow the cart down as we head toward the trees for more, careful travel.
Okay. You actually slow the cart down in perfect time because you sort of suddenly find yourself amidst a ring of trees.
Like inside the ring of trees?
Yeah.
Like a
I don't
fairy
want to
circle
be
of
inside
trees?
the ring of trees.
You just want to keep going?
I look for the shard. Emiante shard. Can I see it still?
Make a perception check.
Can I
In
make a
this
check as
moment,
a- whether or
Alina,
not this is a fairy circle?
make a Arcana check. For you, Alina, in this moment, you recognize to drive out of the circle would mean passing between two trees.
Wouldn't I have had to pass through 2 trees to get into it?
Looking back, yes, certainly you did.
Oh, we did that
Oh,
once. Okay.
shit! Oh,
What is that?
14 already in
With a
it.
14, really hard to tell. You're looking around in
Damn,
this
son.
space, and you're not really sure what's going on.
The crow fucked us.
But in this moment, Alina, you've kind of slowed the cart. You're
Why are you
like in the
slowing
middle of
down?
this space. Do you want to just keep going straight through the first 2 trees that you see?
We went into a circle of trees. I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to be inside the circle of trees.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You look out the window.
Like
You're in the middle
I'm
of a ring of
super
trees.
slowed down because if someone in the group is
Do I see
recognizing
the
something that I'm not.
star?
Make a perception check. What was your perception check? Sorry.
11.
With an 11, you don't see the star, but there's like stuff all around you, or he kind of crawls on top of you. Cheshire is sprawled across your lap, just taking up the whole bench, so
I
like
don't see
hard to
this.
see.
I don't see the star because Ori is on top of me.
Natural 20.
I need a higher.
And you don't see the star. But what you do see, as you peer out between 2
What do I
trees,
see?
is you see a cart. This
Oh,
cart led by 2 horses, this cart with an individual peering out the window back towards you, or you're looking at yourself.
Oh no.
But because it is 10:10 and a perfect place to start, before we pull out the next visual, this is where we're going to end for the evening. As all of you find yourself in a darker place than you were before.
Oh, look, guys, we did it.
Thank you for joining us for
found
this
the
session
Shadowfell.
of Dungeons and Dragons. You are not in the Shadowfell.
The shadow red.
Well, in that case.
In that case, it's time.
Got like dual disc
Thank you for
ready.
joining us for this session of D&D. You can join us next week on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next session to see what occurs in this ring of trees. But if you can't wait that long, you could join us on Sunday for the YouTube replay of this session, preceded by our Starfinder session at noon. And then, please, whatever you do, stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye. Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.
Oh, Valentine's.